Y'all ready? Put the hat on, flip the pen on. We clocking in, let me show you something. Hey, hey, clocking in, showing up, no slackery. Where we at? Fat, bitch factory. Hey, red apron on, that's the strategy. Where we at? Fat, bitch factory. Dust up the chef hat, bowl like a queen. Wake up late night, chase a food dream. Phone charged up, got the ring light clean. Factory shift, baby, heavy whipped cream. Boom, bad beat while the grill goes sizzle. Pots get hot and the sauce gon' drizzle. Step in the line, make the whole place wiggle. Big fork moves in the waistline jiggle. Clocking in, showing up, no slackery. Where we at? Fat, bitch factory. Red apron on, that's the strategy. Where we at? Fat, bitch factory. Mac on the stove, butter in the pan. Cornbread stack, call it thick with a plan. Hot like a wok, don't stop my hand. I'm the boss of the sauce, you a sous chef stand. Spatula flip with the wrist, no pressure. Kitchen my runway, apron my dresser. Late night grind, but the check feel fresher. Fat bitch factory, big vibe, no lesser. Whip it up, flip it down. Take a bite, pass it round. No scale, no shame, we cook loud and free. Big beat, big eats, factory energy. Clocking in, showing up, no slackery. Where we at? Fat bitch factory. Red apron on, that's the strategy. Where we at? Fat bitch factory. Clock out, never that. We keep serving extra sauce, extra fat. Boom bap, baby, that's the recipe. Fat bitch factory.
Okay, that's enough of that. It's a good song. You should go listen to it. Right. So, that is Aren't You Exhausted's playlist. It's my new favorite song ever. So, I have a link now. You should go listen to it. Okay, so yes, I want to do pre-stream music-y stuff. Also, I needed to kill a couple minutes. So, donk. Probably should have plugged my phone in while I was doing that. All right. We have a few things on the docket. One of which being why my program's not opening. But, you know, things are what they are. Did I see the thingy you did I see that thing you sent me? No, I did not. Give me a second. Well, maybe I did. But there you go. I'm gonna check it real fast. Bonk. Oh, well, that's going to be interesting because I've already reacted to that part of her video. K-Buns, I'm assuming you're talking about the little bit here. Hang on. I meant to do this before we get started. This thing here from Rachel. Is that what you're talking about, K-Buns? And now I have the song in my head. Excuse me. I had pizza, and now I have pizza burps. Mod, not fun mod. Yeah, I see. I figured that out. Rachel's community post. Yes, that is what you're talking about. How's my Halloween duet going? I started a cut. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. Any one of you is going to call me out on it. I am not down 19 pounds, horse and rider. I'm down. I'm barely down 2 more extra pounds because I'm terrible. So, but I'm glad you're down 18, and that is amazing. I'm very happy for you. You're gonna run a maintenance protocol from Halloween till New Year's. Ooh, awesome. You know, but here, let's talk about weight loss for a second. For those of you who care, Yes, I did not make my weight loss goal between now and Halloween. I don't know. I'm not going to make 19 pounds, but I could probably get another pound or two down because, unlike everyone wants you to believe, there are still 2 weeks of October left. Halloween is not on the 25th, as much as I would appreciate it to be, because that is my actual birthday. Halloween happens on the 31st, which is Friday, the Friday after my birthday. So I do technically have like 2 weeks left, so I could probably get another 2, 3 pounds down between now and then, but that'll only put me, 5 pounds down. So I was bad. I did not make it to my goal, but mostly that was personal failings. So, but I am very glad for those of you. No. Do it, diet. I got you, horse and rider. Why is my phone still talking to me? You should not be talking to me, phone. Are we done talking to me now? I think we are. No, it's not. I need to shut my phone off because it's possessed. But I am very glad that you made it down 18 pounds because that was roughly my goal. So, and you're back in your size 3 jeans. Man, that's awesome. I will never see that size. But I did go try jeans on yesterday because Duluth has they re-released all of their women's jeans. I don't know why, but they did. And they finally got their straight leg and their boot cut jeans in. And I went and tried those on. And instead of wearing a size 12, I wore a size 10. So I'm not completely mad at myself, but I do wish I had done a little better. But not going to beat myself up over it either. You're down 40 pounds since February? Damn, Allie. Kick ass, man. You guys always kicked ass. I feel terrible now. Ah! But no, I'm glad everybody's hitting their goals though, or getting really close to their goals. You made your Halloween mini goal? That's amazing, Lady Elder Snake. Because my phone loves me. Yes, that's why my phone is possessed. Yes. Good old phone. Hey, Groovy Bobby. We're just talking about our weight loss goals because we were doing a thing hotter by Halloween. We still got 2 weeks. My background fun? I have no idea what my background is right now. There we go. Yeah, I got my background up and going. We were listening to Fat Bitch Factory, so. You're down from a 22, 24. Wow, good job. Okay, look. My highest was an 18. I got to an 18 and I freaked out. And I was like, no. So, as long as I don't get... Everybody's got their limit, So... Mine was having to wear an 18 in jeans, and I was just like, no, I'm not doing it. I damn near got to 200 pounds, and I was like, fuck it, I'm out. So, Winter Seas, you're down 16 kg. You don't know what that is in pounds? Aw, you gained a bunch after your dog passed? I'm sorry. But you're slowly losing it? That's good, though, Well done to everybody's making... Yeah, exactly. The real Jessie Cat, good to have you. We do need a collective group name. I don't know what to call you guys. Who's named Odd Cheese? You're down 70 pounds? Good job, Odd Cheese. Hot latte. Who said they're here? There you are, hot latte. Fatima said they're down 50 pounds since May. Good job. God, you guys are killing it here. I'd like to think I had something to do with it, but I know better, so good job, everybody. Remember, we still got 2 weeks. So, you know what? Every little pound counts, Yours was getting so uncomfortable and winded just walking up and downstairs. Yes, that was also not fun. Blue balls. I'm not calling you blue balls. Stop it, Scar. You have been... You are removed from the naming pool. Tiny Blues. I could call you Bluebells. God damn it, but now I know what Bell's heads are, so. Damn it, Scar. Yeah, fluctuations happen. Please don't beat yourself up with those. Your biggest was 220? Rosalind Hawthorne. That's a great name. For my own personal comfort. Yeah. Everybody's got their own. You know what? Everybody's got their own thing. Tiny blues. Ooh. I would call you blueies, but that's too close to blowies, and that is Scar's thing, so. Tiny blue pubes. And K Buns is out now. In the corner, both of you. That's true. You were the feral chat. That's right, Allie. Idiot Witch says Tiny Blues is good. Tiny Blue PJ. You guys watch it out. You're gonna get called that. Keep it up. You are still chubby 14 stretch, but started my stairs at the house. Easier. Mom's bed is in the house. Oh no, I'm so sorry. You know, sometimes being bedridden kind of sneaks up on it. Well, I mean, there's reasons that happens. It's not always that. My dad's mother became bedridden after cancer. So these things happen. We just try to do our best. The whole point of trying to stay healthy is so that you can mitigate the chances. You were a modern size 6. That's a good point, Bad Banana Wizard. That is a good point. I bought 20 years ago. There's no way I could zip up. You also have a size 6 you bought 20 years ago that there's no way I could zip up today. Really? That's interesting. What is have you ever measured the difference just to see what the actual difference is between the size 6 that you have now and the size 6 that you bought 20 years ago? Because you can just like take a tape measure and measure the difference. But Allie is correct. This used to be the feral chat. We will stick with the feral chat. Future fossils. I like that, actually. That's funny. Sending y'all to the pit. The round pit. And then I tell you to go stand in the corner. Oh, thank you, Card Princess. You quit changing your name, Skeletor. Your highest was 330 at 5'10". Been at 150 since 2010. You're like you're tallish, taller than B. Let me put it that way. But I'm 5 even, so everyone's taller than me usually. Sneakerhead Queen Bee. We're talking weight loss. Yes, we are. I'm down 200 pounds. Nice. I'm back in the hundreds. I have to wear a strong girdle to hold my hanging skin, but my body's changing so much. Well done there. But good job. 200 pounds is nothing to shake a stick at, man. That's a lot. 25 pounds seems so much more doable after over. You know what the funny part is, though? Like, the less you have to lose, the harder it is. That's the killer. Like, I had a lot, not that much to lose. I had altogether, how much was I losing? I had roughly like 40, 50 pounds. I can't remember exactly. And now I'm down to like the last 19. And it's just killing me. It's harder than hell to lose. But the rest of it just fell right off. Oh, you're 5 even too? There's a lot of shorties in here. But there are a lot of tall people in here too. So I like my tall people. I like my average height people too. Every height is valid here. I just often wonder what it's like to not have to get on a step stool to reach the first shelf in the cabinet. Not even the top shelf, just the first shelf. What's that like? Just being able to, like, reach. When I have my perfect house built, everything's gonna be at my height. I don't care. It's my kitchen. Everything's gonna be at my height. Yeah, the last pounds are always so hard. Like, when I get within 5 pounds, 10 pounds of my actual goal weight, I'm really not gonna give a shit. I just need to get there. Hey, Zincat, good to have you. You said, yeah. What is that? Is that Susan of the Woods? Is that how you, a different way of spelling Susan? I lost 284 pounds and I need to lose 30 more and it's so slow. Yeah. You're 5'6". You're the shortest in your family. Dang. You're 5'9". You're 5'8". And a heaf. 5'8" and a heaf. That heaf is important. Yeah, the last pounds are hard. I think it's because your body's like, screw it. We're close enough. Meanwhile, your brain's like, no. You're 6'1". Dang. See, that's what I'm saying. Oh, yeah, you've mentioned that you're real tall. You're like I think you're taller than my partner, but not by much. The nice thing about being tall, though, is you get to be heavier naturally. You get to eat more. You said you lost 20 at the beginning of the year in the last. Yeah, see, that's where I'm at, Bad Banana. I lost about 20 at the beginning, and now I'm at the last 20. I'm just like crawling. But that's okay. I knew that was going to happen. Yes, exactly, Carb Princess, like a hobbit house. I think my goal, maybe 140, 20 pounds down from where I am now. I was perfectly happy at 150. I just want to see what it feels like. Yeah, that's sometimes, yeah. Sometimes you just want to know what it's like to be at that supposed ideal weight that the doctors are always like, you should be. Sure. Full spectrum of height blues. BJ. 5'2". If you were 6, I'd be, yeah, exactly. You gained 20 pounds during the past 3 theater shows. Oh, there you go. But you've lost 15 in the past few months. There you go. Yeah, see, the real trick is going to be not gaining weight over the winter. K-Buns is not ALR. Stop it, Scar. You know what? We're just going to encourage Scar from here on out. Yes, Scar is correct. My PT, I asked my PT what my maintenance calories were, and he said 18 to 2,000. He asked me what his was, and it's 29 to 34. You know, the more active do you get, the more food you get to eat too. That's the other thing I learned. So I'm working on that end. I'm like, ooh, but I get more food if I'm more active. You're 6 even. And your favorite weight to be is 175. See, that's what I'm saying. Like 175 and you're at 185. You know, you have one good night and you drop 5 pounds. Does it really matter? You're so close. I think at that point, it really does matter, like, your measurements more. Like, do you fit in your clothes? I think that's more important at that weight. When it's like a 10-pound, 5 to 10 pound difference, I think it matters more if your clothes fit. Yeah, my maintenance. What are my maintenance? I don't know. I should go look that up, honestly. It's probably half my problem right there. 185 is perfectly fine for the holidays. Yes, exactly. Excuse me. I'm like at 157. I'm to be perfectly honest with you, I'm probably closer to 160 again, which is not where I want to be. But considering where we started, I'm okay with it. But we need to get lower than that. So we need to not go above 160 over the holidays, because I would like to go into the new year, if not below, if not around 155, at least not over 160. I got 2 months. I can do it. Yeah, Fire Rabbit. Getting a walking pad. I honest to God think I need to do that. Maybe that's what I'm going to get for Christmas. Get one for me and my partner. Not 2, just get one for my partner and and he and I can share, is what I'm saying. What I'd really like to do is like my desk here. It's not a standing desk, but you can get like a little elevator thing to make your desk higher. You know what I'm talking about. And then put the walker, turn it into a walking desk is what I'm trying to say. I had a walking desk once and I really enjoyed it. You'd like to gain to muscle mass? Yeah, but you're already skinky. Skinky? Yep. Well, you are now. You're already skinny. You see, you're not like the Viking princess. You do not need to simultaneously lose fat and gain muscle. You're at the point where you could just gain muscle. So that's me short. But I'm short but still 30 pounds overweight. Better than before, but 180 at 5. Yep, see that was me, Marshmallow Pillow. That's where I started. Your maintenance is 130. Yikes. Well, mine's probably not too far off. I think mine's probably closer to 115. That didn't make any sense. Mine's probably closer to 15. So, and I haven't been calorie counting. See, I told you it's all personal failings. Oh, thank you, Marshmallow Pillow. I think that's Marsh. I get the Marsh. Hang on. Marsha Pilpow? Have I mentioned I'm dyslexic? Moonlit novel. My campus at work. It's great to walk off the morning meeting I have to bite my tongue in. Ouch. Yeah, the Viking princess thing gives me immense secondhand embarrassment. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that secondhand. Yeah, the night shift plus all of the it's sometimes the lifestyle does make it really hard. Pillopow. Gotcha. Pillopow. Got it. You guys are gross. All right, so my wonderful mods shared Rachel's community post with me here. It says, I'm sure it's older than 2 minutes at this point, but it says, "Hi all, Emily has withdrawn consent for her voice to be used on my channel. To avoid any future issues or privacy concerns, I have privated my previous video. Many thanks for the continued support of my channel." Here's the problem. I have already reacted to that. So I have reacted to the voice message that Emily shared. Unfortunately, I didn't get to react to the second half of Rachel's video. So I've only been able to react to the first half of it. Fortunately, I have notes. So I guess this means I can't react to the rest of Rachel's video there. Now, since Emily has done this, I'm just going to start downloading videos. We don't need to look at that. So does that mean, that means the video's gone, right? Yeah, that means it's gone. Damn it. Son bitch. All right. Well, I have a two-part reaction that I was going to do more reacting to. I guess I'll just do another video instead. But I'll just not read out loud because. But I do remember seeing, and I think my mods also sent that to me, the Charlie Gold post saying that Emily had deactivated her Instagram account. It looks like Emily's trying to vanish off the internet. Somebody had, or there was a rumor going around that Emily had privacy struck, Alex is shook, but I don't know how much credence there is to that because this is just what I've heard. I am repeating things that I have heard. That after Alex got struck with privacy hits, that Emily reached out to Alex saying it wasn't her that did it. Probably it's trolls, to be honest with you guys, but either way. Would you like to see a pics On a tummy for good measure. No, because I don't want to get privacy hit. That seems to be the picture that's causing the issue, so no, I don't. Also, I in general do not want to see that. Genetic synthetic. Oh, that was quick. Yeah. Hi, Ruby. Good to have you. They're using each other, but not necessarily together. Oh, Emily and Amber. Yeah, I don't think they're together. I don't know what's going on there, to be perfectly honest with you guys. Emily's death to release to erase any of the feeder posts. Did she get rid of her accounts? I still do shit. Allie is the best mod that ever modded with the name Allie. Yeah, Rosalind, I think at this point everybody's a little confused as to what the hell Emily's intentions are, which is kind of why I started reacting to Rachel's video. Again, nothing against Rachel. I need to be perfectly clear about that. My thing is completely Emily. Like, I don't get what the point of Emily doing any of this is. Scar says, my theory is Emily is trying to erase herself to hit others and claim to no longer be a public figure. Well, a little too late for that. I'll use glitter and lasers. Oh, you're the glitter and lasers expert mod, and you're the messy fish mod. Okay, if that's how you guys want to break things up. If that's how you want to do that. Faithful Duo was in here earlier. She's the nice mod. I was mentioned in Jordy's chat? Why? I did nothing. I've done nothing to Jordy. I haven't even brought Jordy up other than to joke about it. I do make a Jordy joke in the video that's going to get edited and posted now, so. Don't worry. That voice message will still exist because I reacted to this son of a bitch. So, but for reals, why was, not that I'm not offended, I just am surprised. Exactly, BJ Puck. She's hot, then she's cold, then she's yes, then she's no. Should she stay or should she go now? Oh, well, that's nice. I'm glad Jordy likes me. I mean, I'm glad Jordy likes me better than him saying nasty things about me. Emily does just like to hear, well, apparently not. Apparently not too much. Because Emily seems to be going out of her way to delete herself. Not that way. Trying to back out of girl world. Like I said, a little too late. Emily's too afraid to say stuff with her full chest. I'm surprised she had that voice message, to be perfectly honest with you guys. Let's talk about that voice message. Like I said, that video is going to go up, but let's talk about that voice message. I did take notes. See? Notes. Ooh, can you read them? Look, guys, I'm going to read from my journal. Shit. I mean, I kind of am. I just had a couple concerns about that voice message, and I guess now that Emily's trying to hide herself, I'm going to talk about them. So, one does not simply back out of girl world. Correct. That's not done. It's just not done. I need to double check these things because my brain is roughly Swiss cheese, and I'm not gonna lie, I kind of checked out from the Amberverse for a little while because I just was doing other things. And I kind of sort of recall the I tripped and fell on the I fell on Emily story happening in the living room originally. Not the I tripped on the rug. That happened in the bedroom. I remember that. But I remember Amber telling when Amber was making fun, you know, she's like, "Oh, help, help!" When she did that in one of her lives, which I'm sure isn't available anymore, I seem to recall Amber saying that that happened in the living room, that they had been on the couch or something similar, and that she had reached out to try to stop Emily from falling, and that then they had both fell, and Amber had fallen on Emily then. That's what I remember. I can be crazy. I have Swiss cheese brain. But that's how I remember the Amber fell on Emily story going. Emily, I need my glasses. Damn it. Can't even read my own handwriting. I mean, I can, just not without glasses. But Emily's saying that that happened in the bedroom. And Emily is saying that that Amber didn't trip on anything, which, you know, whatever, I don't actually care. I'm just pointing out differences in the story. Amber insists that there was a rug involved in the trip. Now, did she take down all of her videos? No. In one of these videos, Rachel tells, I'm gonna need to download these. We're just gonna download these. I don't know if I need that one. We're just downloading these now. In one of these two videos, I think it might be this one. It's not this one because I didn't watch this one. So it's either the first one or the second one. Rachel tells an account where Emily says that Amber was rushing towards her, and I believe it was in the bedroom. And Emily says, and I'm sorry about the video delay. I have my computer doing too much, so the camera's being wonky. It was a dog bed in one of the stories too. Thank you, Siberia Girl, because I was like, when did the dog bed come into this? Anyway, in one of Emily's retellings of the story, Emily says that she raised her hands and her knee up to stop Amber from charging at her. And that's when Amber's stomach came in contact with Emily's knee. Right? I remember that because I actually got into it with one of the people in the chat over this story. But that was from Emily's accounting. Emily came up with that story. But in Emily's voicemail about this whole thing, Emily never mentions that. If we're going to apply one logic to Amber, we got to apply it to Emily too. Don't get me wrong. I am in no way saying Amber is a good person or Amber didn't do any of the ABUSE stuff, because 100% I believe. I'm just saying Emily's as much of a liar. That's all I'm really saying here. So that's what I'm really saying. Let me see what you guys are saying, because I'm throwing shit out here. I should probably check this. Yeah, Amber changes her stories a couple times. Yeah. Let's see. Her journals are annoying me. Yeah, Amber's journals are very annoying. I don't see what would you say without a big evidence. The Book of Facts. Affidavit journal. She wrote it down. There are some circumstances, it has come to my attention, there are some very rare circumstances that a journal can be used in a court of law. These are not it. Amber keeps changing that story. Yeah, about the rug in the bedroom, yeah. I think the couch was Amber getting kicked and falling on the floor. I do know that that is one of Amber's stories, yes. Thanks, I'm glad you think my brain is tasty. I didn't say brain worms, I said Swiss cheese brain. There's your air bubbles, thank you. Teddy Pigs, Emily changed her story and said Amber did trip. Okay. Amber always trips on her own lies. True story. Amber has changed the story. Yes, I'm aware. Yeah. Amber also said blanket in one story. Okay, so we've got the blanket. We've got a rug. One of you said the dog bed. Because a laundry pile also gets mentioned. And I was like, when did the laundry pile come into this? The rug trip was the bedroom. The couch thing was supposedly Emily kicking Amber off the couch onto the floor. Okay. I can't find my tape measure, but the older size 6. Oh, cool. The older size 6 on top of the new one, and there's about a 2-inch difference. Jiminy Christmas. Then I measured an 80 size 10, a 1980 size 10 against them, and it's the right size between them. Huh. Neat. Isn't that fascinating, though? I'm serious about that, though. That's so weird. Just leave it the way it is. And why can't women's clothes just be your waist measurement? That's how men's clothes are. Why can't women's clothes be like that? Okay, and there's the dog bed. Well, hello, Jessie Cat. Welcome to the undergrad. Mwahaha. Okay, there's the blanket, size 10. Amber said, Lizzie B says, I don't know why it's doing the thing again. I don't know what's wrong with YouTube. YouTube's drunk. It needs to go home. Amber said one time it was when Emily was trying to go to the bathroom to hide. Then she said it was in the front door. Then it was to hold her when Emily fell. Then she said she tripped on the rug. Yes. They keep changing the story. I think the whole thing is too similar to Casey's story. You don't say. That was when Emily was on the couch and Amber rushed at her and Emily blocked her. Different incidences. Okay. That was the second kick. All right. I don't know. The account of that night is strange. True that. I think they are both semi-truthful to make themselves look better. I also believe that too, Moonlit Novel. I think both of them are... This is why I don't trust either of them. I think they're both trying to make the other one look as bad as humanly possible. And that's why their stories don't line up. The Swiss trees, they do not, Allie, do not. ADHD piles. That's me. That's me. The laundry piles were off to the side in the story where Amber fell. Irrelevant. Okay. So they don't actually have anything to do with anything. All right. The journal was co-authored by Henry of ChatGPT. Henry and Claude. Yes, I'm collecting all the Jessies. In fairness to both of them, it is hard to recount a traumatic altercation in real life and find detail. True. That is true. My problem with this overall story in the voice note, and I say this in my video. Now, to caveat, and I say this also in my video, when Emily starts telling the story, there's a lot of background noise and it sounds like she's driving. So that can contribute to being distracted while telling the story. There was something else that was leading to the distraction, and I don't recall what it is right now. But when she starts off telling this first part of the story, she jumps around in the timeline a lot. She starts to tell she starts off with, in the bedroom, we were screaming at each other, yada, yada, yada. Amber fell on me. And then we get really fixated on what is and isn't on the floor. And then Emily falls, Amber falls on her. And Emily's like, and then I got up and then Amber grabbed my arm. But then before any of that happened, and then we backtrack and Emily tells this whole like soliloquy about how this was a trigger and Amber knew it was a trigger and how they had this conversation back and forth about it being a trigger. And then Emily like backtracks again to get us all the way back to what started the whole incident with the laptop and the phone in the face. And granted, that would piss me off too, don't get me wrong. But it's just like the story timeline is all over the place. There's a lot of verbal pauses throughout the first half of the voicemail, the voice notes. And it's not until the second half that it stops and the story becomes more fluid. And I'll tell you the second part bothers me because we don't have it anymore. But Rachel says something to the effect of, and you'll see it in the video when I release it, but Rachel says something to the effect of, when I made this video, she puts a icon up in her video. She says, when I made this video, I speculated that Amber chased Emily out the back door, and that's when the cat got out. We're all speculating on what happened to Rarity because none of us know, and Amber's never going to say. Let's just be clear about this right now. Everything we think we know about Rarity is literally speculation because we will never know the truth. Full stop. So, but Rachel had made the hypothesis that since Amber was already chasing Emily around the house, that when Emily went out the door, Emily closed the door, and then Amber followed Emily out the door, and that's when the door got left open, and that's when the cat got out. And then in the video that has now been taken down, Rachel says, that's what I speculated, and it turns out that that's the truth, because Emily says that's what actually happened. And I'm like, funny that Emily would say that's exactly what happened after watching the video where you put that theory forward. Like Amber says, she's always in that damn truck. Let me back up again. Was Henry cheating on Kendra? Apparently, yes. I am the new Oracle. All the AIs called me Oracle now. Is that why she is talking so slowly and has so many gaps between sentences? Because I thought that was strange, like she had to remember what she had previously made up. I am giving her an out because there is a lot of traffic noise, so it is entirely possible. However, when she's telling the second half of the story, the second half of the voicemail, because Rachel says there were 2 voice notes. The second voice note still had all of the traffic noise, and there's even the sound of a turn signal. So she's clearly driving, and there's nowhere near the number of verbal pauses. Now, she's also not recounting a detailed event in the second half or the second voicemail. She's just kind of overall talking about the general state of their relationship. So she's not recalling details like she's recalling in the story. So that could also contribute to it. You know, trying to recall actual details does take a little bit more recollection than being like, she constantly wanted attention. I constantly had to reassure her. I was always calming her down. You know, those are general statements as opposed to, you know, first I had to do this and then I did this and then this happened and these details were this. And, you know, that's different. So it is entirely possible that just like the amount of detail that she was putting into the first half of the story plus the driving just kind of caused the verbal pauses to be greater because she's trying to concentrate on driving. She's trying to recall all these details and that just caused more verbal pausing. She should have just pulled the fuck over and told the story. But yeah, she was definitely driving. You think Emily would be... We're gonna leave that there. Traditional revolutionary. I was so excited to hear your take on this. I mean, we can dislike somebody and still be sus of the other side. Yes, okay, here's the chased thing. Amber didn't say she was chasing Emily, but Amber did say she was following Emily through the house. So Amber herself admitted this. So That one I'm very confident saying, because both Emily said she was being chased. Amber admitted that she was following Emily through the house. So that was happening. When the both of them verify an event occurred, I'm confident saying it happened. When one of them says something happened and the other one doesn't mention it, it gets a little dicey for me. So that's why when Amber says things happen and Emily doesn't, or when Emily says something happens and Amber doesn't, that's when it gets a little iffy, because now we have an informant versus informant situation. If both informants are saying that, even if it's two different stories, if they're both saying an incident occurred, I know the incident occurred. I don't know exactly how it happened, but I know the incident occurred. Does that make sense to everybody? So, yeah, Teddy, I'm not going to say that out loud either. You and I are kind of sharing a brain cell here, apparently. What did I miss? King size beds are meant to be slept on, not under. What happened? Lizzie says, all we can say for sure about Rarity is that something dodgy happened. Yeah. I mean, clearly. There's no proof. It's just Emily now speaking out, not showing anything. And I say this in one of my videos because it's not, I've seen this from multiple people now, not just the person who mentioned it first to me, about Emily being able to alter screenshots. And I mean, it's not difficult in general to alter images, which a screenshot is just an image. So this is not a difficult skill, but I've heard this from multiple people, in multiple places, not just, on my Discord. So it strikes me as very interesting that this is a running theory in the community, that Emily is altering screenshots as, to, I assume, make herself look better or make Amber look worse. I just think that's an interesting theory or an interesting conspiracy that's going around about Emily. I don't see it everywhere. It's not like a huge one. It's just, I've seen it enough times now that I'm like, that's interesting that it's being brought up in the first place. I just find it curious because if it is true, which I'm not saying it is, but if it were true, why? You don't need to do anything to make Amber look bad. She looks bad, period, because she's admitted, this is the worst part about Amber. She may not realize what she's doing, but she's admitted to all of this ABUSE. Because I don't think she realizes what she's admitting to. She's like, yeah, I follow her around the house because I want to argue. Okay, but that's not, that's ABUSE, Amber. Yeah, I keep her up all night because I want to talk. Okay, look, depriving someone of sleep is a literal war crime. So, just saying. So, anyway. Sorry. Abby's Grey Ghost says, my theory for Emily erasing videos and ALR preventing videos is that Emily's employer may have found out and they got legal involved, and legal made stipulations on both Emily and ALR. Not sure. I don't know. Honestly, don't know. The thirst trap of ALR talking and getting ew, and now this. Good to see they are back in happy relationship, leaving other. Yeah, that's true. That is true, Scar. She can probably get some momentum. Oh, sorry. Ruby Bobby, I don't like Amber. She gives me bad vibes. You don't have to wait long to catch Amber lies, Groovy. You just gotta, give it a second. So. I'm sorry I missed some things. I apologize. You can hear when she arrives. Important and triggering. Bad vibes. Yeah, I don't understand with the voice memos why she didn't pull over to give the voice memos, but you know, sometimes people just don't think. People text and drive. I don't get it. Amber takes stairs one at a time, one leg at a time. Amber can't chase anyway. How long does it take Emily to put shoes on? Teddy says Amber said flat out that she insisted on talking to Emily when Emily tried to leave the room. Yeah, I mean, there's verification from both of them that these incidents, some of these incidences actually happened. Oh, the real Jessie Cat. Did they sing the theme song while they were doing it? Ah, shit. Getting legal involved is an interesting theory, Abby's Grey Ghost. Emily's just a nurse, as far as I'm aware. I don't know if her company would give a shit. Would give a shit enough to get involved. I should watch my language. Would give a crap enough to get involved. Usually they reserve that for their higher ranking employees. Unless she works for a university. I don't actually know where Emily works, and I don't need to know. But it's my understanding she's not like a professor or something like that, so I highly doubt legal's going to come to her aid. Your brain cell's on vacation today? That was me last week, Fire Rabbit. I understand. Emily made all that merch for Amber so she knows some design programs. Yeah, I'm not saying she can't alter it. I just think it's an interesting theory that people are putting it out there, honestly. How populated is Emily's neighborhood? Are there loads of houses close together because that would give Rarity more chances? Oh, I like to think somebody found her and she's living her best life in a warm living room with lots of whatever you give cats. Everybody's cat's different. So that's my story and I'm sticking to it. Southern Bonita, that's the thing. Neither care about the people or animals they are impacting. It's all self-serving. Yeah. But her BPD. Yeah, it doesn't count when she's in pain. Yeah, Rachel was kind of pointing that out in the last video that I will never get to finish now. Amber has stated that if she's in emotional pain, whatever she does doesn't count, which is absolute bullshit. Period. End of discussion. Your mental problems are not everybody else's. My brain cells on vacation. Quick! Somebody get, aren't you exhausted on that song now? Stat. It's not a get out of jail free card. No. PJ. I'm not reading that out loud, but that's funny. Yeah, the real Jessie Cat. As much as a POS as Emily is, I don't think she needs to alter stuff. I mean, I think Emily's lying at points, but you don't have to work hard to make Amber look bad. You just gotta wait. Yeah, you just gotta let her make her own bed there. Emily has a history of not thinking. That's true. She dated Amber. The other thing, yeah, it's a sliding back door, yeah. I know she's a psych nurse. I just don't know like how high up on the ladder she is as a psych nurse. Hello, G-Rup. You've told me how to say this. I think I said it right. BJ Puck. Yeah, that's another thing that I found out because, again, of my wonderful mods. Emily's been in some other people's DMs, sending them food via DoorDash while they're in the hospital, recovering from food addiction. We're going to watch that little clip here in a second. K-Buns, she works somewhere she doesn't belong. Count Scupula. People keep saying the nursing board is going to get involved, but I don't understand why they would. I don't know if they would or not. Count Scupula. I don't really know if this falls under their purview. I really don't. I've definitely gone to one aggressively and it almost bounces back up. Oh, yeah. Those doors are notorious for not closing correctly. The one in my old apartment didn't close at all. So that was always fun. Oops, I closed Discord. That's not what I wanted to do. But we will close Evernote. I wanted to exit Steam. Goodbye, Steam. Well, at least I didn't close the other thing. Hey, Possum Pals Pet Service. I'm trying to do more lives. I don't know how good I'm going to be at it, but I'm trying. Oh, my top? Yeah. I wanted to wear my dress. I'm trying to wear my Halloween stuff. I've seen too many true crimes. Abby's Grey Ghost. As long as she's not going after their clientele. I don't know if they care. That's kind of where we're at with that. Yay. That's fun. Wait, what happened? It's more warm and fuzzy than legally binding. Yeah. Depends on if she used her job to find people to use for certain things and if there's proof of that. Yeah, Ruby, I think that's where that's going to go with the whether or not they'll get involved or not. I don't think I need that anymore. That was in this one. Let's see if I can find it again. Nope, that was the cheese bag. Cheese bag. All right, let me see if I can do this without screwing everything up.
Drink my Starbucks, whatever. And
YouTube doesn't seem to think pausing actually means I want to pause. Like, oh, you want me to keep playing the video? No. All right. I was sent this. Was this? K-Bun sent me this. I've never watched Major Chilla before. Zio, I believe it's Zio the Dreamer. Aren't You Exhausted has been covering Zio over on their channel a few times. So, if you want more information on them, you can watch Major Chilla, or you can go. What is this? I don't care. I want 5130 though, which I am not far from. We're gonna back up to right about here. Anyway, we're gonna start here, just to kind of back it up a little. So, all right. So, like I said, Cynical Dude has been covering Zio as well. Zio is interesting. I don't know a lot about her. I know that she's trying, ? To recover from a really bad food addiction, it sounds like. Like I said, I've never watched Major Chilla. I might check them out now, though. I like the little chinchilla. So, I found a new channel to watch. Ooh. But, pardon me. Yep, let's just watch it because I've apparently lost my one functioning brain cell.
That she was placed in the foster care system, and no doubt due to that horrible time in her life, Zio would constantly choose food to soothe herself. It's so sad knowing that these problems Zio faces now.
I love this man's accent. Love it.
Now are just from her younger self trying to make herself feel better in a situation where there was no winning, and it followed her all of these years to the point it may destroy her completely. And that need to be with someone and have companionship grows more concerning when I tell you this. Zio has been receiving a bunch of gifts from someone that I didn't expect, and someone you probably won't either. It was revealed through a Reddit thread that Zio has been getting gifts from Emily. You may be asking why that name is relevant and who it is. It's because this Emily is the former ex-girlfriend of Amberlynn Reed, known to be a feeder and fed her previous wife to the point of no return, something Zio is completely susceptible to.
If you didn't catch what he said, because he said it a little fast, Major Chilla says that Emily fed her previous wife to the point of no return. So within the various communities, there is some confusion over whether Colleen was Emily's wife or not. So just putting it out there in case people are, confused as to what he's talking about. He's talking about Colleen. They, to my knowledge, were not married, but they were engaged.
And with her needing so much care, even if she leaves the hospital, Emily being in her life would only lead to disaster. While she was with Amberlynn Reed, Amber's weight skyrocketed. This woman is very dangerous, and it's especially concerning when you realize that Zio is facing far more complications than Amber when it comes to weight. Even though I'd say Amber isn't far behind, Zio was in a coma for over 2 months and is still in a battle with weight loss every single minute of her life. So to have this person who's willing to destroy someone's life for their own pleasure is very dangerous, even more so when you consider the circumstances that Zio finds herself in, already in the hospital, struggling with overcoming her eating addiction and her crippling loneliness. So having a person willing to satisfy all of those needs of Zio's gives her even less hope after she leaves this facility.
So I sent this to Aren't You Exhausted because, like I said, Aren't You Exhausted has covered Zio in the past, and I knew that. And I was like, haven't you done this? And Aren't You Exhausted told me that she knew that Emily was in Zio's DMs talking with Zio while Emily and AR were broken up the first time, and Emily was spotted sending Zio gifts on TikTok live. She said gifting corn gifts. I don't know if she was using a euphemism or if that means something, because I'm not from TikTok and I don't know what that means. But either way, she was gifting Zio on TikTok live. So Emily has been involved with Zio now for a little while. But when I said it looks like Emily has found a new person to move on to, Ashley says that Aren't You Exhausted said that Zio probably isn't in the market for a relationship, but Zio will take handouts. So I don't know. And, after dealing with ALR, Emily might be looking for someone to play sugar mama too. It might just be the better relationship for her. Haha. Black lipstick is lovely until you smear it all over your face like a 5-year-old. You found that Wisconsin nurses are held to extra standards for conduct outside of work because their actions can adversely impact patient trust for professional reputations. Interesting. Wasn't she in Content House? Zio? Was she in like was it? Yeah, Paradise. There we go. Is that the same lady who has been in a medical facility for months? Yes, I do believe so. Southern Bonita, but I could be wrong. Like I said, I knew that this person existed, but I don't know a ton about them. So, but we will get back to that. All right, I think I've talked about the story so far. I have, like I said, I've got 2 videos reacting to need to shut this off or it's going to be super bad. I've talked about the story. I've got 2 videos coming out reacting to the video that Rachel privated. And it is what it is. Thing is, though, Rachel already premiered that video and got a hell of a reception of it. So, and then it was live for 2 days. You know, it was an active video for 2 days. So Emily can ask her to take it down all she wants. Rachel didn't have to take it down. It wouldn't have violated anything. It was just goodwill that Emily decided to do that. Just putting it out there. Emily could have been like, no. Don't tell me Aren't You Exhausted is live. No. But that being said, even with Rachel privating the video, it has already been, it's already all over the damn place. I mean, when I was reacting to it, it had 198K views. So, good luck with that, is all I have to say about it. So, if it is found to be true, Emily is sending this lady food and this woman passes. That brings Emily to 2 past women she can be linked to. One more Justin feed will officially be Fed Bundy. Lord. I was not convinced by Emily's protest that she didn't want Amber to gain weight. The lady doth protest too much, methinks. Yes, thank you, traditional revolutionary. That was a part that I wanted to get to. But that was at the end of the video that I wasn't able to get to. Was when Rachel was reading messages between the 2 of them about in particular, the part that I wanted to talk about was where Emily was asking Amber if she had weighed herself yet. And that is something that feeders will do. They want to know how much the feedee weighs, and they want to check in frequently because they want to make sure that weight gain is occurring. So Emily asking Amber if she's weighed herself today is not Emily saying, hey, let's get healthy together. It's Emily wanting to know how much Amber weighs because that number does something for Emily. So now you can interpret it the other way if you want to, but that isn't how that necessarily was meant to go. So just, I wanted to have that out there. And I know I know Rachel is fully aware of how the feeder community operates because she has done videos on that. She's done videos about Emily being a feeder. So I'm not sitting here and being like, oh my God, Rachel didn't take XYZ into consideration. It wasn't the point of the video at the time. So it's understandable why that wasn't in the video. However, as a reaction channel, it's, you know, it's my job to point that out. So, Amber never, shit, none of us get views like that. Teddy, none of us get views like that. That was amazing. And it was a lot of fun to be in the chat. That was a lot of fun, honestly. I've never been in a chat like that. That was a hell of a lot of fun. K-Buns, I want to make fun of the bear jokes so bad. Make sure you don't have any chocolate in your pockets. What's the chocolate she had in her pockets? It's as pointless as Amber making her life's Yeah, exactly. The real Jessie Cat. It's my understanding that, like, of the many channels and probably the Reddit and elsewhere that you can go to get Amber's lives, you can just go watch, like, Hecticana's channel, apparently. And because a lot of I would assume Salty Crab probably has. Let's just go check. I'm willing to wager Salty Crab has all of those lives. Oh, I haven't checked Salty in a minute. I don't know where that came from, but it's only 2 hours old, so we're not going to watch it. Yeah, see, this is on Salty's channel. Amberlynn trashes her ex and now deleted, live streamed, and backtracks. Amberlynn Reed makes shocking claims against her ex. That's 4 days old. Amberlynn exposes herself for threatening her ex. This is the one with the screenshots in it. More of the Amberlynn stuff. You can tell it's the deleted ones. More of that. Oh, this is a retro. Salty Sunday is where she just where Salty kind of goes over things. So Salty also just did finish these deep dives into the different phases, which was actually kind of fun to watch. It's been a while since people have gone over the phases. So anyway, my point is there's plenty of places to go to get Amber's lives to react to them. So Salty's just just usually where I go. I'm sure we all have a favorite reactor who reacts to these things live, so there are many places to choose from. I'm sure Alex or Jordy or some of the other giant channels have covered this shit too. So Emily has calculated it's entirely possible that she sent messages, quote, in support of weight loss with the internet with the intent of them being seen later. I mean, it's possible. Yeah, we also don't know what she was saying to Amber in FaceTime. Jordy went over the messages in his lives, yeah. And of course the live since she trashes him and Zachary. I don't think Zachary, is it Zachary Michael or Zachary Michelle? Because I've seen Zachary introduce themselves as Zachary Michelle. So I just wondered. I'm wondering out loud about things. Yes, and she has it's chocolate. I'm not delusional. You don't have to outrun him. You just have to outrun the other guy. Sorry. That's a rosy joke right there. So it is okay. Marie. Thank you. Not Michelle. Marie. How did Emily really not think about this all getting back to her employer from the start? This all seems so silly. Shanorama. I sometimes wonder they go by Zachary Marie. Okay. But their actual I know their actual name is Michael, yeah. I sometimes think the girls that get involved in Girl World, especially the secondary characters, like they don't think it through. I just think they don't think it through. So curious about the pathology behind feeders. T-Cat Bird. It's not really my thing, but maybe sometime we can go over some of the other channels that have covered it. How the Marie thing even start. Ruby Sky. Ruby Sky Marie. Zachary identifies non-binary. So my guess, I'm not speaking for them, just my guess, is that they feminize the Michael part just to kind of have like a male-female duality to their name. I'm guessing. I don't know for sure. But not one thought went through. Amber always says, my next girlfriend I would put on camera. I don't know. It kind of worked with wifey. Kind of. Ish. All right. It's me or starve. Well, let's not starve the bears, K-Buns. It was my take that Zach just does that to be silly. It could be that too. Yeah, Zach's a fun person. I work in a part of the HR field, and I'm often also often shocked by people's decisions. Yeah, sometimes we just make dumb decisions. I'm not perfect either. Sometimes we just do dumb shit. We just don't think it through. All right, what else did I say we were going to go over in this live? What was the title of this again? I can't see my own title anymore. Bonk. Oh, JB. All right, yeah. I think that's enough, Emily. What else did I say? JB, Emily, and... Oh, Amber. Well, I think we did that. All right. Do you guys want to talk about JB a little bit? I also have a JB video coming out. It is... Is it done? Did it finish rendering? Oh, it did. Well, how nice is that? Okay, cool. Well, cool. I'll just go set that up right now. Do, do, do. Pull that down, do that. Talks amongst yourselves real quick. Idiot Witch, we're not going to watch the body cam footage. We don't have to. It's a little disturbing. So we don't have to. I thought maybe if people don't want to talk about it, we don't have to. I have a video coming out about it. It does have some of the video footage in it. So I will be open about that. There are some funny moments. And there's a reason I want to talk about it, and it's not because it's funny. He was joking on Foodie Beauty, Chantel Marie. Oh, that makes sense. I think Marie is a jokey thing. Okay. That makes sense with the Chantel Marie. That makes sense. I want to talk about it, but I don't want to make it super uncomfortable for people. The body cam footage is interesting. Yeah, I'm not trying to make anybody uncomfortable, Idiot Witch. I understand not wanting to watch it, because I was actually not going to do it at all. But then I watched a video by Nadia Nymph, and I was like, okay, there's actually I watched a video by her and by Omegon, and I know that sounds strange, but I was like, okay, I do actually want to talk about this. Other way. There we go. But give me just a second. Don't take off just yet. Do 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 do. Trying to think. Trying to do two things at once, it doesn't work. Multitasking makes you stupid. That. Do that later. Pardon? Apparently don't have a JBay list. Probably better that way. Oh yeah, Jimmy Bunker. Get on it. I need more videos to react to. You want to stay queen of girl world, you need to put more videos out. All right, so the thing I want to talk about that I learned from the Omegon video now, I learned it from Omegon. Does that mean he can be wrong? Yes. Do I trust Omegon as a source? Usually, because he usually does really good research. All right? So I am comfortable trusting him as a source. All right? Putting that out there. Does that mean I may have to eat words? Yes. I am comfortable saying that. All right? Putting that caveat out there. Omegon brought to my attention that I don't want to do that. I want to do that. Because I'm going to mention that in the video that's going to go up here in a second. The reason that J-Bay was having the problems that she was having, and this is going to change a lot of things, is that she apparently was suffering from sepsis that entire time. However, now that I've just told you that, it doesn't appear that the sepsis got diagnosed until March. So during that whole time of the body cam footage, no one knew she was suffering from that. That being said, it is clear from her, not her behavior exactly, because we'll talk about that too. It's clear from the weird stuff that she says when the police arrive at the beginning that she's having some kind of break. And Nadia's video, let me see if I can pull up Nadia's video. Damn it, aren't you exhausted? Why are you live right now? Where's Nadia's video? Why are my subscriptions like this? No, I don't want that either. Go home. That's not what I want. Brain function. There she is. Oh, this is Nadia's video.
Be talking about J-Bay specifically.
I just want to have this up. What was I saying? Anyway, it's clear from just... It's clear... Oh, so there we go. Nadia points out at the beginning when the police are talking to... We're just going to leave it here at the beginning here. It's clear when the police first get there and they're talking to the admitting nurse, I think that's who that is, that the cop says that J-Bay qualifies for crisis intervention. However, the facility can't take her because they can't handle her size. So, So even though she qualified for a particular type of help, she was too big for help, which I just blows my mind. Because you get so used to the fat acceptance people and our girls being the sizes that they are, that you just kind of get like size blind, like 550 pounds. Because that's how big J-Bay says she is in this video. You just kind of get size blind to it. But, God, the end of this video. Even if we were to watch this video, we would not be watching the end of this video. We probably wouldn't watch anything past her getting taken out of the hospital, to be perfectly honest with you. But understanding that she is outsized any kind of medical assistance that she actually qualifies for is mind-blowing to me. And it's just like, yeah, and fat acceptance wants you to say health at every size. And J-Bay was an advocate of fat acceptance. Like, she was one of the bigger voices in fat acceptance. Fire Rabbit says she was treated for sepsis before the arrest. She was also treated for sepsis in March, according to Omegon. When was the body cam taken? When was she arrested? I feel like she got arrested in February. It wasn't specified, Ruby Skies, that whether it was the beds or the staff. Rosalind Hawthorne, if the facility can't physically take them, what do you do? I mean, what are they going to do? Just have her stand there in the hallway? No, her abusive behavior is what got her kicked out of the hospitals. Yeah, she got arrested in February. All right. I'm scrolling up to catch up with the chat here. So, I have not, just clarifying for people, I have not watched Jakara's reaction to this. I have not watched Fit and Full Fat's reaction to this. So, anything that has been said in either of those two videos, I have not seen. The only two reactions I've watched are Omegon's, excuse me, and Nadia's. And Nadia's is very brief. If you want to watch one that just kind of hits the highlights of the body cam footage without all of the gory details, Nadia's I highly recommend. It's 12 minutes long. Nadia's very sympathetic. Nadia's very sympathetic. I like the way she handled it. She really only left in the most important parts. So if you're interested, but you don't want to watch the whole damn thing, this is a really good one to go watch. I'm only putting this in the chat for people who are interested, so don't feel obligated, because I know some of you have no interest whatsoever. Perfectly acceptable. But yes, according to Omegon, they found out in March that she had been suffering from sepsis, which explains the really delusional shit she says when the cops very first show up, because she tells the cops, first off, she tells them that she's called the FBI, which is not that delusional. But then she says that she was trying to file some paperwork, and I had to watch it twice before I really understood what she was saying. And then she says some really good actors showed up, and they tried to convince her that she was having a mental break, which she was not. That's what she said. And I was just like, what is she actually talking about? And then she said that she had been kidnapped. Either, I can't tell if she was saying she had been kidnapped from the hospital that she had been in originally, or if she had been kidnapped and taken to the hospital that she was at originally. And then she said that she was born at the hospital, but I can't tell if she was talking about, like, she had originally been born there, like that's where she was born, or if she was implying that she had recently been born at the hospital. Either way, she's speaking as if she is perfectly coherent. She's not slurring her words. She's not hesitant. So she seems like she's with it. So you really have to listen to what she's saying to realize something ain't right. Regardless, she has become too aggressive for the hospital staff, and they have her removed. Fire Rabbit says, you think she was acting and saying crazy things to be arrested because it was her last option? Yeah, there are some people who are saying to it, oh God, I don't even want to see how Alan Roberts reacted to it. I really don't. I don't even want to hear how Alan reacted to it. Yeah. I don't go to Alan for compassion. Let me put it that way. Gonna put it the gentlest way I can. You are gonna go watch it? Well, you let me know how that goes. He might surprise me. Yes, is that Magnolia PhD? There's an important distinction to make. She wasn't rejected because of her body. Correct. She was rejected because the facility was unable to provide care. Yes. That's a subtle difference. Correct. They also said that she had filed SA charges that they could not substantiate. Also correct. She filed them against her partner, who is now her ex-partner. She was supposed to be finding a shelter. Yeah, that's the phone thing where she's trying to get the cops to, she's stalling for time at that point. That's another thing. Like, there's points throughout the body cam footage where she's clearly aware of what is going on around her. So it's not like she's completely out of it the whole time. Yeah, Ezra, it takes a while to get that big. Yeah. She was, Genetic Synthetic says she has been trespassed from the other hospital. She got, I'm assuming she was trespassed from the first hospital for the same reason she got trespassed from this hospital. At the beginning of the footage, you see, I think the officer's name is Lile. He's talking again with what I believe was the admitting nurse. She says that J-Bay had called 911 from the corner of the Catholic hospital. I think that's a short for the actual name of the hospital. I don't know. But they keep calling it Catholic. So J-Bay had been on the corner of the road where where Catholic hospital was. And she had called 911 and she had been trespassed from that hospital. And the admitting nurse had received the call from the ambulance drivers as to whether they could bring her to that hospital. And that nurse had said, yes, go ahead and bring her in. And that's something that you learn from the body cam footage at the beginning of the footage. And the nurse says she was okay here for a while, but she has gotten more verbally aggressive over time, implying that the longer J-Bay had been there, the more aggressive she was getting. That's what I took away from that part of the body cam footage. Later, I do believe it's Officer Lile again, because you see Officer Ramos there and another police officer who we never find out who that guy is. There's a different nurse, and she is explaining to the three officers that the wheelchair that J-Bay is sitting in belongs to the hospital, and that J-Bay, when she was admitted, she was naked. And the nurse implies that J-Bay purposefully came in that way, and that she had come in on the ambulance without clothes. And I don't know, though I find it hard to accept, that the first hospital would have put her out without any kind of covering. Because even when this hospital has her removed, she has, it's not great clothing, but she has coverings. Like, she has 2 hospital gowns tied to her, plus she has a large, I think she has 2 sheets wrapped around her, kind of toga-esque. So it's not great clothes, but she is covered. I mean, it's not great, but I find it very difficult to believe that the other hospital wouldn't have at least provided something like that. So I don't know. But the other nurse was making it sound like J-Bay had kind of calculated that herself. So I'm just scrolling up here again. Alan, y'all let me know how that goes. Oh yeah, and then she just gets more and more aggressive with the police officers as the video goes on, and it's just F around and find out. That's really all it is from that point forward. Now, keep in mind, throughout the entire video, she keeps asking them to arrest her. So I don't even think it's an F around and find out. I think she was literally just trying to get arrested. So she was just trying from that point forward to do anything she could to either stall so she could stay in the hospital where she was or get arrested. And eventually she got arrested. So, I have watched both of those reactors react. Jakara seems much more empathetic than Fit and Full Fat. Okay. Yeah, Winter Seas, she started yelling. That seemed calculated. Yeah, I mean, clearly. I didn't know she was trespassed from 3 hospitals. I know she got trespassed, Ruby. I know she got trespassed from both of those hospitals for 99 years. That's crazy. Like, what happens if she actually needs to go to the hospital? Like what happens if she actually has a heart attack or a broken leg or something? Are they not going to take her to the hospital? Like, I don't understand. Yes, the second nurse mentions that she was naked when the ambulance picked her up from Catholic. Half of all hospitals are Catholic, the rest are Methodist. Yeah, I don't know. They just kept calling the other hospital Catholic. I don't know. Nerdy. What is that? Nerdy B Nerdin. That's funny. Yeah, she said she had done a hem kit and her clothing was taken. They don't. I mean, my assumption is they didn't have alternative clothing in a size that would work for her. They would still have given her gowns like the hospital she was in did. Like, they're not just gonna have you run around in your birthday outfit, you know? Kenwick is a small city, if you could call it that. They probably didn't see people her size very often, especially with Washington not being a very heavy state compared to other states. Okay, well, I wasn't exactly sure where she was. Hey, Mad Mads. I would have looked back, but I recall people covering all the videos. Would you say Southern Bonita? I would have to look back, but I recall people covering all the videos she was posting during this time. Winter Sea says she's been trespassed at every hospital in town. They aren't able to deal with her when she's so large and then gets aggressive. Yes, exactly. That's part of the problem. I lost the chats. J-Rup says, I have been on the receiving end of many an admission, and a lot of them made as much sense as J-Bay. That's why I only watched a couple of minutes and said, nah, I don't need to be reminded of work. I tried to make the point in the video that for J-Bay to be getting booted like this, she had to have been being like above and beyond. Because it's my understanding just from like, I've had family members who are in like nursing. Don't get me wrong, there's a limit. But it's my understanding that like, it's a pretty high limit. So she would have had to have really been like going in on it. So that's my understanding. No clothes, but with a sheet. According to the second nurse, she came in with nothing. Now, when she was being removed by the officers, she had these green bags that I assumed had her property in them. Maybe it had the kit in it, the SA kit in it. Siberia girl, I could see her being Stephen Asante. Yeah, that's kind of how I was taking it. But maybe, I kind of saw it. Maybe that was kind of how that was going. Don't hospitals have a duty of care to refer patients they can't treat to a facility that can. I don't know. And if there's nothing around that can treat her. Also, at the time, they didn't know there was anything wrong with her. So, and she was, I don't know if this was happening while she was at the hospital, but Omegon said that one of the other reasons it took so long to diagnose her sepsis was because she was refusing care, which, I mean, she got booted out of at least 2, if not 3 hospitals. Where does she even get diagnosed now? You know, that kind of a thing. He says, Winder C says, unless they chemically restrain her, which can be unethical if she's not needing treatment, she's just being a menace. Yeah, I mean, and that's the other problem. Like, as far as they understood, there wasn't anything wrong with her. Yeah, that's the other thing to talk about, the real Jessie Cat. The way the police spoke about this was clearly something she's pulled before. Something that's important at the beginning of the body cam footage and becomes evident throughout the video is that there's an officer there named Ramos. And I think we get a little bit of his body cam footage. And I only say that because we finally get to see what Officer Lele looks like. It might be body cam footage from the cop whose name we never learn. But Officer Ramos knows J-Bay to the point that he knows J-Bay's father's phone number just because he has it written down or has it memorized or something, because when the officers show up to the hospital and the nurse is explaining to them what's going on, Officer Lele tells the nurse that Officer Ramos knows J-Bay and knows to call her dad. And that was their plan. They were going to call her father and have him come get her. And then we find out that her dad is not, in fact, going to come get her, and that he's like, no, I wash my hands of this situation. She's an adult. She can deal with it herself. And that kind of snowballs the situation. But this is something, maybe not this exact instance, but J-Bay has had interactions with the cops in the past to the point that she's on a name basis with one of the officers, and that dude knows her dad's phone number. So. Oh, yeah, Ruby. Yeah, she called 911 from the hospital and they disconnected the phone. Yeah. I'm sorry if I'm behind on the chat, guys. I'm sorry about that. Your stepdaughter kept getting trespassed at dialysis centers? Oh, that sucks. She literally eventually had to change states to get care. Oh my God. I'm very sorry. That is a terrible situation for everybody involved. She may have had sepsis prior to the incident, but she also had sepsis this time. She was in the hospital because she requested to be there. As far as I understood, the real Jessie Cat. Omegon was making it fairly clear that she was suffering from undiagnosed sepsis at the time. Now, again, I'm going off of what Omegon says. Omegon's usually pretty good at his research. So, I can be wrong. Omegon and I can be wrong. So. Oh no, Tiny Shamrocks. I am so sorry. I am very sorry to hear that. Yeah, the real Jessie Cat. She knew the name of a female officer too that she tried to request, and they told her that that officer wasn't working that day. Ashende says, also, if you need to go to a nursing facility and you are above 400-ish pounds, you will need to be placed into a hospital care facility instead. Okay. Well, and then, as Teddy says, J-Bay got the reaction from everyone involved that J-Bay worked very hard to get. Yeah. Oh, they were also a large person. Yeah. That's the other end of it. J-Bay's size has a lot to do with how this whole situation went down, especially the end of it. J-Bay doesn't get hurt or injured or anything, so I don't want people to think that something like terrible happened. It's just incredibly embarrassing. And yeah, I would just crawl into a rock or under a rock and probably never come back out again. At the very, very end, they do finally arrest her. They use 3 sets of handcuffs to cuff her, and they cuff her with her hands behind her back because she has, at that point, actually now physically assaulted Lele, Officer Lele. And once you're handcuffed, you're basically handcuffed. There are very few reasons why they're going to uncuff you. So, but she's gotten arrested, which is what she wanted. And you know that's what she wanted because they start walking her towards the police vehicle and she starts going, hell yeah, hell yeah. So she's happy now. I don't know exactly what happens, but I don't know if she doesn't fit in the back of the car and she like loses her balance and falls, or if for some reason she decides to do the passive aggressive thing and just falls. Either way, she falls and she's on the ground and she can't get up. And now I don't know if she can't get up or if she won't get up. And the cops are of the opinion that she won't get up. And the 2 of them are not capable of lifting her. So they can't get her up. They won't unhandcuff her because, like I said, once you're cuffed, especially after you've assaulted one of them, you're cuffed. They'll do anything except uncuff you at this point. So that's exactly what happens. So they have a doctor from the hospital come out to check her to make sure she's not, injured. And again, sepsis isn't one of those things that just like there's a little red light flashing above your head or anything. So he comes out. She's not having any problems breathing. Her heart apparently sounded fine. She's not bleeding. So he comes out and he goes, yep, you're good. And then he leaves because she was trying to get readmitted into the hospital and he won't take her because she's been trespassed. So the doctor leaves and then the 2 cops call in like 4 more officers. They call in a paddy wagon and 4 more officers. And then they bring out a tarp and they literally roll her onto the tarp face first. And then all of them lift the tarp and they carry her into the back of the paddy wagon. And they just slide her into the back of the paddy wagon. And there's body cam footage at the end that I saw where she is sitting upright. So she's not face down she manages to sit upright. Okay, so she is able to move around. She's not like stuck face down this entire time. So she does manage to get herself at least sitting up in the back of the truck or van. So that's why I'm like, I don't know if she refused to get up because she refused to. Once 6 dudes show up, I imagine you could probably get up standing again, but she didn't seem to want to at that point, which is why the tarp came out. So there's that. Mad Mads, it was a difficult and uncomfortable cop can to watch. Yeah, it was. It was. And in my video, I skip a lot of it. I skip even more of it than Nadia skips. How is she not embarrassed? I don't think at the time she has the ability to be embarrassed. So Yeah, the Jessie cat. I don't know if that's what she was doing, but it seems like that's what she was doing. She was dead weighting them to make it difficult to get her in the vehicle. Yeah, I don't know if like once they got her to the original vehicle, I can tell. I can tell, Teddy. I can tell. I can't tell if she had second thoughts about going to the jail. I don't know. I don't suppose anyone got the brand of the tarp. I don't know, but it's not the kind of tarp I've used, so it was blue and white and it looked like it was like reinforced, so I think they said they called fire department or something, but these cops, these were other cops that showed up, so I don't know. She was fully able to stand and sit up when it served her. Yes. That's another thing that the cops, Ramos especially, was calling her out on that. Because he was like, I've seen you stand, I've seen you walk, I've seen, she was like, oh, I can't do this. And he's like, I've seen you do it. Aw, your grand fur looks like that. That a little tuxedo boy. Sepsis or no sepsis, this woman has made a career weaponizing her stupid morbid obesity. Yes. And that's kind of where I was going with her familiarity with the police officers. Fatima. I don't know why I have such hard times with that. Regardless of if she was suffering from sepsis or not, during this episode, she has clearly had run-ins with the police before, to the point where her dad's done with her shit. Ramos was done with her shit. He's clearly told his partner about her stuff, and so that dude was already done with her shit. There's a female officer that she knows on a named basis who didn't want anything to do with her. Some of the nurses at that hospital seem to know who she was, or at least be aware. They did call the ambulance. She called the ambulance from the other hospital. Stop it, Teddy. It's terrible. My aunt had a tuxedo cat when I was a child, like a little child. That damn thing hunted me down so it could attack me. That thing hated me, and all I wanted was to love that cat. That cat hated my ass, and it was a tuxedo cat. Your kitten keeps trying to unplug your laptop. Well, at least he's not trying to chew on it. FBI Frank was done with her shit. The FBI Frank references in the comments section on Omegon's video are actually precious. Oh no. Rowan, I didn't need to know that. Oh yeah, she called 911 on the cops while she was in the hospital, yeah. FBI Frank is on the case. Yeah, they had to get the equipment from the fire department. Gotcha. Gotcha. That explains it. So that was the J-Bay thing. Oh, they called the ambulance to get the tarp. Gotcha. Yeah, I had no idea where the tarp came from. So. Yeah, every now and then you get that one cat that just cannot stand you. And I'm very fortunate. My cats all love me. I mean, I feed them, so I think that's why they love me. They love the food I give them. That might be what she was mentioning about Ramos, because she digs at him like she knows something. She just digs at Ramos because she's trying to get under his skin. It was obvious she wanted to get arrested, but resisting at the end confused me. I don't know, Mad Mads. I just wonder if maybe it was buyer's remorse. The realization that she was actually being arrested finally sunk in when she saw the back of the police car. Or maybe she just fell. But I too am the food lady. Yes, exactly. It's the food person. We love the food person. The spare human as well. So that was the J-Bay thing. I don't remember all of the exact charges that she got hit with originally, but I know that like assault was one of them. I know trespass was another one. But watching the footage does make all of those charges make sense because they were kind of, some of them were kind of vague. It's funny, these channels. Yeah. It's what we do. We try to make this shit funny because it's not. But yeah. So I think Ramos was later charged with a DUI whilst off duty in prison. Eesh. Well, I mean, if you're a cop and you get a DUI, I mean, first off, I don't particularly agree with drunk driving to begin with. And if you're a cop, I'm sorry, it's kind of a higher standard. You're literally there to uphold the law. You're not allowed to break it. Yeah, she got a lot of, winter seas pop pissed off police charges. Yeah, she did. They put a lot of little shit on there too. And also you had bad breath. It's a lot of shit. It's like, looks like you just made some people mad. Oh, thank you. I got these are from Salem. The moon, La Luna. So there you go. We've talked about Emily. We've talked about, well, Amber tangentially. How can anyone keep up with this stuff? It's a break from the rest of the shit that we normally talk about. All right, we talked about the J-Bay stuff. So, as far as I know, J-Bay's still laying low. I don't blame her. Honestly, I'll be surprised if she comes back, to be perfectly frank. So, I honestly don't know how you come back from this. I know there's a channel called Body Cam. I believe that's where everybody has gotten the full video footage. I need to hunt them down because I want to link them in my video in the description down below. I think if you're interested in watching the uninterrupted long form body cam, that's where it's going to be. It'll watch TV. Exactly. Southern Bonita. So I don't have the link to that, or else I'd give it to you guys. I gotta hunt it down still, but if you want to watch that uninterrupted, just search for body cam. I'm pretty sure just type in body cam and J-Bay in YouTube, and I'm sure you'll pop up. So there's that. Shauna Steele has a link to them. There. See? Somebody did it. Nobody else over here did. So I'll go hunt Shauna Steele's down then. And there's that. Can I remember the nitrogens? No. Can I remember ALR and Hannah Lord? Well, you know, some things are more important than others. Ah, shit. Allegedly, she's living with her dad. Yeah, Omegon mentions that after it comes to light that she was suffering from the sepsis, her and her dad are back on better terms, and because she clearly needs help. Even without that, she clearly needs help. So I hope, honest to God, all half-ass sarcasm and joking aside, I really hope she's getting the help she needs, and I hope this was the reality check that she needs. She's not that old. I don't even know if she's in her 30s. She's very young 30s. I really hope this is the fucking reality check she needs to, like, A, get out of fat acceptance, and B, just fucking clean her life up. This was a lot. It didn't need to be anywhere near this. I mean, she could have gotten, that sepsis could have gotten checked sooner if she hadn't been belligerent and she hadn't been bouncing from hospital to hospital. And we know it could have been because clearly she's been diagnosed with it before. And secondly, they did eventually diagnose her with it. So it is something they could have gotten done if she had just not been doing what she was doing, you know? So Yeah, Teddy, she needs a real, she's 30, 31. Yeah, she's still very young. Yeah, that's the name of the channel. It's just Arrest Cam. There's nothing else fancy. It's just Arrest Cam. And there's the other thing, like, J-Bay is 30, 31. She's already on oxygen, though I think she's recently gotten off of it. Sometimes she's immobile, like she sometimes can't move her own weight. So she's already physically breaking down at 30. Most of the girls at least are like trucking through. Like Anna's 41. And I mean, say what you will, whether her form sucks, she pisses herself when she lifts heavy weight, she can still hike, she can still swim, she's still lifting weights, she's still fairly active, right? She's gonna hurt herself eventually, but she's still doing shit, right? Amber can still miraculously walk. Still don't understand that one. Foodie, I don't understand Foodie. I don't understand Foodie. Foodie is an anomaly. Whatever that SCP organization is, they need to come collect Foodie. You know, that kind of shit. But yeah, Anna at least goes outside. She's 28. That makes it even worse. You know, I work in a prison and we regularly get larger people committing a crime simply because coming into winter, we are obliged to give them medical and appropriate housing. You know, Groovy Bobby, I hear that about a lot of people, though. Not just, larger people. I hear that, like, a lot of people who are down on their luck will commit petty crime just to get arrested so that they have some place to be. Because we don't have facilities for that kind of stuff. Sometimes it's so hard to stick a normal-sized human and let... Okay, I lost that one. Edo Bullen. When I hear about J-Bay or the people on my 600-pound life, I really wish Anna would get some help because I think she has a chance. Yeah, I do. I think that's one of the reasons why I have sympathy for Anna, because she could do it if she just get the fuck out of her own way and pull her head out of her ass. So, but she is 41. You start to get set in your ways. So my hope for her is basically what you see right now is what you get. So this doesn't mean she can't change. That's not what I'm saying. Perhaps because J-Bay has been fatter, younger for longer, if that makes sense. It seems what QLR might have to face. Dude, QLR's got that juicy ass lung, and it's doesn't sound great when she gets to coughing. Scar knows what I mean. If Scar's even still in here. Scooter, you're 2 hours late. Yeah. All right, what else do we want to talk about? Let's go out on a good note. You know, I say this and then I pick something that usually ends up being like horrifically traumatic. Let's see. Loft Lifts has something I wanted to see. Are you guys up for that? I'm going to spell it wrong, aren't I? Yep. All right. Go to my subscriptions. Lot Lifts. Why can't I remember that? I don't know. You guys want to watch this real fast? How I got fat and how I lost it. Ex-fat to lifter. Also, amazing accent. J-Rip says, although I've never been Anna's size, at 40, I horse rode cross country, skied, and went on week-long hikes. At 61, my body is wrecked. Hey, but you had fun. Sometimes sometimes it's worth it. It says, hey, I'm 45 and my gay self fell in love with a girl for the first time for real. I'm just saying. Why does QLR want to be in this club? I don't know. All right, here's my theory. Here's my theory as why QLR wants to be the pick-me girl of Girl World. She sees an easy income source. This is my theory. Oh, you just found Lotless? So far I'm really enjoying her. She sees Amber and Foodie, and she sees how they basically do jack shit. And she sees how they have huge followings and how they get money hand over fist for their bullshit videos and their bullshit lives. And, excuse me, and that's what she wants. She wants that. And so far, it's been working. Rosie gets online. Get on my tangent here in a minute. Rosie went live. I gotta quit typing in Rosie because that's not the name of the channel. And then I also need to learn how to spell quirky. Q-U. There we go. Hey, look, it's me. Wow, that's an old one. Oh, she's live.
I haven't decided 100% on if I'm doing the Sam's. If I go to Sam's this month, I'm not going shopping. I'm just gonna do like a Sam's pickup.
She spent over $500-ish at Sam's Club this month for basically one person's worth of groceries. She spent $120 alone on chicken nuggets at Sam's Club. But, all right, my point is, she sees the crap that Amber and Foodie put out. She sees how they do nothing and they get paid, and that's what she wants. What are the yellow chats? What are the super chats that are yellow? She wanted 5 of them. So, has she started cooking yet? I don't think she started cooking yet. So, the name change thing is still messing with me. Pray for QLR's brother. Yeah, I actually kind of think Levi's funny. I kind of feel bad for QLR. She got out of feederism. Did she, though? But without a real path to financial independence and not, she sees Girl World as the road she can take to that. Rowan, I don't think she really... Okay, A, I don't really think she ever truly got out of feederism. And B, I don't think she ever wanted a job. I don't think she ever wanted to be financially free. I mean, just watch her without any sound. Just watch her body language and the way she acts without any sound. Keep in mind that Saturday, she should have received a walker. Most importantly, she should have received a rollator, a walker that also has a chair. Now, she might be using it right this second. I don't know. But, well, hence the dick quotes. I don't see her using it, but again, I might be wrong. She might be using it right now. But Rosie just sees an easy way to make money online. She knows people will watch her eating content because they've already done it once. She sees Amberlynn and the other girls making food content. one of the streams, I have a quick reaction to her that I did where she goes in on Alexandra Rodriguez, Glitter and Lasers, and J-Bay for being influencers. She goes in on those three for being influencers and influencing their audiences. Are you sure you want to do that? So I have a little critique on that. I feel bad for her if she didn't seem like a shithead. And that's the other thing, you know? Yeah, Winter Seas, if she wanted a job, she wouldn't repeatedly be applying for disability. Yeah, and then there's that. Like, people paid her to swim across a pool. Can we at least send her the apron? No. Look, you're lucky the girls are centered, okay? Where was I going with this? I have completely lost my train of thought. I have to, like, take Rosie in small doses these days. That's where I was going. Lefty's always trying to escape. That is Lefty, isn't it? Yeah. She's paid to be a troll, problematic, and to eat. Large-scale feederism and a drama niche equal more money than just feederism on OF or whatever. Yeah. Oh. How have I never caught that before? You're right, Rowan. So anyway. Mary Minks, don't feel bad for her because she doesn't have the moral fortitude to actually improve her life. I assume you're talking about Rosie. That's the other thing that kind of QRLR, Winter Seas, QRLR gets to make money eating, being a CUNT. She realized feederism is a small pool and that if she streams, it's a larger audience. It's just mainly feederism on, and she gets the drama niche on top. Yes. What Winter Seas said. Yes. And in the meantime, she denies that she's doing it. She attacks other channels who do the exact fucking same thing she's doing, calls them feeder channels. I mean, if they're doing the exact same thing you're doing, how are you not one? She picks fights with larger reaction channels like Zachary Michael, who has absolutely no problem taking it to the mattresses. And then she accuses Zachary Michael of stalking her. Because that worked out for Amber. She basically just takes every page out of Amber's playbook that she can. And again, it's been working. As much as I want to sit here and be like, she's just mimicking Amber, it works. It's working for her. She wants to be like, I'm not the next Amber Lynn. Yeah, you are. And I don't mean because she's a fat chick on the internet. I mean, she's literally taking pages out of Amber Lynn's playbook, and it's working. You know? Some of that content was very feeder. I don't want QLR, the left-handed club. Oh, she's using a flip screen. Well, all right then, Jarup. Is she? Oh, no, you're right. That's why I can't read her freaking hat. Why has she got a flip screen? I want her to keep poking Zach because they have done some amazing content for that. Yeah. Oh my God, that Spoiled Dirty Soda parody was freaking... That killed me. That was so good. That was so good. Every part of that was amazing. So, yeah. Is she still friends with ALR? As far as I know, she won't talk about being friends with ALR after the whole very transphobic comment that ALR made, which we're not surprised coming out of ALR's mouth, but Rosie's an ally. Rosie would never say something like that. But Rosie also defended Amber. So now instead of saying I'm sorry and walking it back and saying that was inappropriate, we didn't do any of that, by the way. We didn't do that. We just said we're not going to talk about being friends with ALR anymore. Notice you didn't say we're not going to be friends with ALR anymore. We didn't say any of that either. We're just not going to talk about the friendship anymore. You watched Zachary's videos. He wasn't snarky until she started talking more shit about him. Exactly. That's the other thing. She goes after people she doesn't know shit about. Zachary's biggest problem with her right now is that she keeps accusing Zachary of basically abusing his pets. Or sorry, their pet, Poe. And of course, Zachary's taking umbrage with that. And now, the thing is, she gets the attention from Zach. Zach reacts to her content, and that's what she wants. She wants the attention, which is fine. You know, she wants to keep, if she wants to keep going after Zach, and Zach wants to keep reacting to her, that's fine. Because honestly, she's annoying right now. She's mildly problematic. She's not, you know, horror cow level like Amber is getting to or already is at, right? So, if anything, she's like ALR light. So, no. How can you be out of chili powder? But why is the chili powder gone? She made Zach have to John Wick. Hey, Rex. So, you know, I don't have as many problems reacting to Quirky here. My biggest issue with Quirky is that I'm kind of disappointed because, you know, I wanted to believe that she wasn't what she is. That was really my biggest problem. I wanted to believe that maybe she wasn't the next Girl World candidate. So I was wrong. There, I said it. So that's my biggest thing. And now now my biggest problem with her is the whole, like, I'm not making feeder content. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. But Prime Hat season, thank you. This one needs a little bit more work, but yeah, curing my type 2 diabetes. Halloween. I am so sorry. Let's see. Yeah, we ran out of paprika. We had to restock that. So, all right. That's enough Rosie for right now. Though it does, I know it annoys the shit out of her when people stream snipe. I don't know what to call this. What I'm doing right now, which by the way is not against TOS. Just FYI. It's actually encouraged by TOS now. Anyway, so enough of this. Let's go back to Lot. Actually, I'm going to go back here. I'm going to run the little girl's room real fast. Zachary is, I don't watch their content much anymore, but when I do watch it, I usually agree with 90% of it. Not always, but I usually agree with it. Zachary's one of the few old school reactors that I still enjoy watching. Not that I think that's not negative talk on any of the other old school reactors. It's just Zachary's like one of the few that like I still feel like I'm on the same wavelength with the exception of Kicking Geese, obviously. Like hands down, Kicking Geese 5 ever. So I just want that to be known as well. I am parasocially. How does Rosie say it? It doesn't matter. All right, I'm gonna go to the bathroom real fast. You guys behave yourselves. Allie, you have the helm. If you're still here. All right. I hope you all behaved yourselves. I suspect you did not. This isn't Fortnite. I don't know what else to call it. I know it's not actually stream sniping. I've been influenced by Foodie. What? Clearly Anna has not yet normalized. Alright, oh. That's what you're talking about. That was a bridge too far, Southern Bonita. Scooter. Yeah, I don't understand her need to like announce her.
Hi, my name's Lot,
Wait,
and I
how
used to
old
be
is-
really fucking fat.
We're watching this. We're gonna watch this, and when this is over, we're done. So, we're gonna giggle. We're gonna have a little bit of a giggle. So, how do you only have 5K subscribers? Look. Go subscribe to Lot. Or you shall turn into a pillar of salt. I don't need these on. Yeah, never mind, I do. Damn it. Yes, the real Jessie Cat. I have seen the video of Anna grinding and the George Michael song. Really fucking fat. I know, right? I'm proud to be your 999th like. Proud. All right, go give Lot. I know, her accent is stunning. And just the shit she says. Don't go tell me to do shit stuff I've already done. Do it anyway! Unsubscribe and resubscribe. I subscribed when she only had 3 videos. I think she has 5 now.
I'm not really that fat anymore. It's actually been requested a few times to talk about how I got fat. And I kind of wanted to do a video like this anyway eventually. But I kind of was putting it off and I was putting it off and I was putting it off. But
I get the feeling she likes soccer. I'm sorry, football. I will only tolerate that this once. But it's called soccer. Deal with it.
now I've actually had a few people ask me to talk about it. I'm going to talk about it, and the reason why I'm doing it now is because I only put a video out a couple of days ago, and I thought it'd be good to kind of slide this in between 2 videos of what I usually do. So
I would speed her up, but I would not be able to understand her, just FYI. So this is real time. I literally would not be able to understand her, so.
put another video out
Hey,
later
Theo.
in the week of what I usually do, and this can just be a little bonus and we can get to know each other, because I feel like you're just grasping a little bit about who I am as a person, but you don't really know me yet, so let me introduce myself properly. So this video
How the fuck does the closed caption know what she's saying?
is completely unscripted, just like the rest of my videos are, to be honest. This is
She
purely
she
from
only
the
had 2
heart,
when you
and
subbed.
we'll see where it takes us. My name's Lot. I'm 27 years old. I currently work as an analytical chemist, and I got fat. Maybe we should start. Should we
Analytical chemist, damn.
start from the beginning? Let's start from the beginning. I grew up, as you can all probably tell, in a place called Liverpool in the northwest of England, and I grew up with a poor single mum, and a lot of my childhood was disrupted. And I won't delve too deep into that here, because that's not what we're all here for. You know what I mean? We're all here to watch me laugh at people eating ridiculous amounts of food.
That's not why we're here. We're here to listen to you talk. You could be reading the dictionary and I would probably listen. Your sister-in-law is British and I've had to understand her drunk grandfather.
We're not here to hear my sob story, are we? But I feel like the context is important, and I feel like a lot of people will relate to me. I was placed in loads of different schools as a kid, and as a teen, we weren't well off, right? Which led to a food insecurity mindset as a kid. I started hiding food as an early teen. I would hide junk food. However, I was not a fat kid or a fat teenager. In fact, I was quite slim, quite new.
Everybody that I know, right? Are you a Texan that has the accent though? Because that makes it I feel even worse. Because there is a Texan accent. And if you're used to that, I feel like this is going to be even harder for you. Oh, hey, uncomfortable ginger. I'm not, by the way, if I'm laughing, it is not a lot. It is at myself.
Noodly, actually. And as this video goes on, if you
Noodly?
are listening and not watching, I am going to put pictures and videos up around me to give historical context. I was
Shut up, Theo. You want me to speed her up? Huh? Is that what you want?
also badly bullied in school, never got a break really turbulent childhood. Unfortunately, as I'm sure all of you are aware watching, there is a direct correlation between class and education, and unfortunately my mum wasn't the best educated in terms of what's right to feed me, so a lot of my food was what a British person would probably describe as like British mum food. So my rotation of meals while I was a kid at home with my mum was a rotation of spaghetti bolognese, scouse, which for those who aren't in the know is a type of stew, chili con carne if you want to get specific about it. What
I forget that all of her C's are like CH sounds. What is scout? Nope. Go back. Scout? Tab. Where's the tab? There we go. It's probably not what she's saying. Soup? Boy Scout soup? Is that what we're talking about? Campfire soup? Scouse? You can't go saying things and just give me vague. Look, I am a foreigner, all right? Explain it to me like I'm 5.
those who aren't in the know is a type of stew, was a rotation of spaghetti bolognese, scouse, which
I think, yeah, scouse. I think you're right. Scouse, all right. Well, I found Boy Scout soup, but she didn't say scouts. Boy Scout, she said. I think she said scouse. SCOUSE. Ah, now see, that's popping up. Lamb scouse. All right, scouse. Scouse is a traditional British stew originating from Liverpool. I'm gonna guess this is what I'm looking for. Made with beef or lamb, potatoes, carrots, and onions. Oh, so it's a pot roast. Screw you people, it's called pot roast. Floury potatoes. What does that mean? Worcestershire. Yeah, it's pot roast. Okay. Lift out the meat and set aside. You sear the meat. It's pot roast. AK or beef stew. All right, cool. I learned. Look at me learning. I learned a thing. No, I want to. Do. There we go. That's what I want. Shush. All right, back to this.
which for those who aren't in the know is a type of stew, chili con carne if you want to get specific about it, whatever oven food there is, so oven pizzas, oven chips, oven nuggets, and I drank a fuckload of full sugar pop as well. There's also, like I've said previously, I'm no sociology student, right? And I'm sure someone more educated in the subject will be able to tell you why these things happen, but in English poverty,
We have stew, winter seas. Yeah? You have beef stew. Help me out, guys. There's other stews besides beef stew. I just can't think of them. Seriously, help me out here. Anyone? I mean, What is a stew? Like, what makes stew stew? You know, for somebody who knows how to cook, you would think I could answer that question, but I can't. Scouse is also the local dialect. Really? We have stew, we just don't call it scouse. Does scouse mean stew? Now y'all are just fucking with me now. Is chowder? No, chowder's a chowder. Chowder's a thing. Well, I know it's soup, Southern Bonita, but like not all soup is stew. Like chowder is a soup, but it's chowder. Technically, chili is a stew. Okay. Is cereal a soup? No, because it doesn't have a broth. Ha ha! Answered that question, didn't I?
Specifically in English poverty, specifically in the noughties and tens, there was
lasagna is a casserole.
Few big food supermarket places called Farm Food, Iceland, and basically they were just really cheap food shops, and they would do deals on junk food. So the junk food deals would be like so many frozen pizzas for so much money. And there's one specific offer that I'll never forget, which was crates of full sugar pop for 3 for 10. Like, so 24 cans, 3 lots of 24 cans for a tenner. And my mum would buy that every single week. And yeah, it was mostly me that would go through those pops. There was a time when I was in my late teens when I was drinking 6 cans of full sugar Coke a day. However, I wasn't eating that much. Like, actually, genuinely, well, I didn't actually eat that much. I wouldn't really have breakfast. I'd go to school, and oftentimes I wouldn't really eat anything at lunch at school. And because I got something called free school meals because we were poor, so I'd get what the school would serve, and it was oftentimes fucking disgusting. So I wouldn't eat it, and then I'd go home and I'd have this monstrous meal made by my mother. So a lot of the times I was running on these full sugar drinks to get me through the day. After I left school and I went to sixth form, which for you Americans is 16 to 18 years old, it's kind of like a stepping stone between high school and university. I discovered alcohol. First time I ever had a beer, I must have been not even 10 years old, right? And like, alcohol is so prevalent in British culture, especially when I was a kid. So I'd always drank all the way through my teens, but my mum started buying me alcohol specifically in my first year of sixth form. And she would go out and I would just be on my own in the house with like a 6-pack of San Miguel or something.
You know, here's the really crazy part. Honest to God, she doesn't look that different. Other than she's smiling. If you put that winged eyeliner on her eyes right this second, that would be the same person. Like, age-wise and everything. That's true. Lasagna is considered a hot dish, yes. But it is technically a casserole, because I think casseroles are hot dishes. Clam chowder would be called cockerel soup in the UK. Yes, but you would be incorrect, because chowder is a type of soup. Spicy Cajun stew. Thank you. There we go. All right. There are veggie stews. Yes, I was trying to think of that. Chickpea stew, lentils. Okay. Bathroom waiting music. Oh, sorry. Pioneer woman needs to stay in her lane. Jambalaya and gumbo are stews. I think that's correct though, because if chili is theoretically a stew, then jambalaya and gumbo would also be stews. Yes, we are learning here. Yeah, chowder. Yeah, but chowders also have to have. There are things that have to go into chowders. It's not just cream or dairy based. Though, I think that is also an important detail. Gumbo would be stew. Yes, apparently. What do you call the alcohol? Well, they have different laws there. Hot dish is just another way of saying casserole. Stew has less liquid, simmers longer than soup, and has bigger chunks of meat veg. Thank you. See, we're learning things. Milk is not the broth. No, Scarlett. No. Actually, I said you were allowed to get away with murder here, so I guess, all right. Scar has spoken. I guess we will count as cereal as stew here. Do we just call it soup? Well, soup's different. Soup is like a thin broth, though. Like, chicken soup is just a really thin broth with bits and pieces of whatever the hell you put in chicken soup. So, see, that's what I'm saying. You got like chicken, you have soup, you have stew, and you have chowder. Those are 3 different things, but they're all soups. They're all type of soup. If that made any sense to anyone. Don't make me get my cookbooks. Do not make me invoke Martha Stewart. All right? I will do it. No, I won't. I don't actually care that much. Oh, shit. Let's just look over this here. Trying to do 2 things at once again. And my cats are being a goobers. Let me have this real quick moment. Okay. That'll be fine for now. All right, let's get back to lot.
My entire bottle of rosé wine, and I drink on my own in the house because I was a loner and bullied and blah 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 blah. So I really liked alcohol. And then when I turned 18, which is the legal drinking age in the UK, I drank a lot. A lot. I then went to university. I went to university a year later. I went to university when I was 19 because I decided to take a gap year. So then I started university, and as I'm sure you're all aware, binge drinking culture in British universities especially is just like off the charts. People will be hospitalised with alcohol poisoning. And I drank and drank and drank and drank. However, it was the first time in my life I ever had an amount of money in my bank account, right? So I was working as a bartender as well as getting a student loan, and it absolutely blew my mind that now I could just eat whatever I wanted whenever I wanted. Unfortunately, I was never really taught to cook as well as a teen, and I'd also just like to add, I'd also decided to go vegan as a teenager as well. So a combination of alcohol, drinking a lot of alcohol, and being a veggie or a vegan, depending on the fucking way of the wind, I never learned to cook properly. So then when I moved to halls and there was no judgment from family and there was an amount of money in my bank account, I just started ordering food all the time. And the weight did creep on through my university years, but I looking at the pictures, and I'm, like I said, I'm putting pictures up as I'm talking. Looking at the pictures, yes, I was a bit overweight, but nothing like alarming. Do you know what I mean? It just, a lot of the times I was referred to as having puppy fat, right? Oh, I'll fall off you when you get into your mid-20s. I'll fall off you when you get into your mid-20s. But the thing was I was bartending like 4 or 5 days a week on top of university, so I was always on my feet moving, but drinking in excess and eating in excess, and that's what kept me just kind of overweight. Once I finished university during COVID times, so I actually graduated informally. Well, I finished university in 2021, and I had a boyfriend at the time who wanted to move across the country. I didn't want to leave Liverpool yet. I wanted to stay in Liverpool. I didn't know what I wanted to do after uni. I was having so much fun bartending in the place I was bartending. I had the most friends I'd ever had in my life because I always struggled to make friends. And I was just loving life, right? COVID, the restrictions had started coming down a little bit, and I just wasn't ready. I'd lost basically most of my early and mid-20s to COVID and my university experience to COVID. That now things were kind of calming down a little bit in terms of restrictions in the UK. I just wasn't ready to go. But at the time, I was a bit of a pushover, and my boyfriend had said to me, you either come or we break up. Anyway, long story short, he broke up with me. We split up, and I moved back to Liverpool and was staying in my best friend's flat while I was trying to get myself sorted. My old bar job took me back. I was just bartending. Basically, from that time, I'd spent any savings I'd managed to save during university through work and mad hours on top of university. I'd spent it all moving to this other city with this boy, so I had nothing to show for the hard work that I'd done on top of my university studies. So I was kind of at square one, feeling really hopeless, really defeated. Like I said, was living in my best mate's flat and working back in the bar that I was working in, and it was also really embarrassing to go home as well because everyone, I had a big leaving party thrown for me, and it was all I come back with my hat in my hands, you know what I mean, please can I have my old job back? Like I said, this is all unscripted scripted, so it's all coming to me in flashes. Now not being in.
Sorry, that killed me. Please get out your job back. That's funny. Ah, don't be mean to lot.
Uni, I'm working full time as a bartender. There's nothing keeping me accountable to trying to live a regular timed life. So a lot of my life then became party all of the time, and I was working mad hours. And when I say working mad hours, my the smallest shift I'd do was 11 hours, and max shift I'd do was 14, with 20-minute breaks here and there, and also over evenings and late nights. So I wasn't seeing the daytime. I was being so tired. I wasn't.
Why was your employer letting you do that? I get, hey, you're a good worker, I guess. And I mean, I'm not saying she wasn't. I'm just saying, I get the employer thinking, oh, you're a good worker. But why would you want an employee that has been on the job that long? You have to understand that your worker is going to be fried AF, right? Yeah? Am I crazy? And yes, sometimes breakups are good for personal growth. What kind of dumplings are you talking about? The word chunky is me. Trudy said it again. I think chicken and dumplings would be stew. Going out on a limb here. I don't know what porridge would come under. It would depend on what the porridge is made out of. I don't know. Porridge is porridge? Your old job made you work. Yeah, but routinely work 22-hour shifts? Or was that just a one time? I didn't realize she was saying hours. Yeah, exactly. What kind of dumplings? The delicious kind. Well, with chicken and dumplings, you're usually talking about what are basically biscuits. Basically drop biscuits that go into the broth and they boil in the broth, which makes the broth thick. Ergo, my argument that it's stew. So that's why I would say chicken and dumplings would be stew. I would also argue that would be why porridge would be stew. Cream of wheat is a type of porridge. You can have rice porridge. You can have cream of wheat. You can have oatmeal. That's another thing. Anything you can grind into a fine paste and then add liquid to can become porridge. Take that to the extreme. I've seen just seed and nut porridge. When I was doing paleo, that's one of the things we would make. It's just what was it? It was a mixture of hemp hearts, chia seeds, flaxseed. That was usually the base, and then you would just grind up whatever other nut you wanted to add into it. When we were shorthanded, they were giving us all mandatory OT. When I went salary, it was averaging 65 to 72 hours a week. Jiminy Christmas. I guess you could make cricket porridge, yes. What? Just asking. What did you do, Sibby girl?
Really cooking for myself. I was ordering a lot. Or this is when I like to say I started to get into my depression meal era, because I was skint trying to move out of my best friend's flat to actually find somewhere to live myself. I started just eating things to keep me full. But on top of this as well, I was drinking every single day. And I'm not talking 1 or 2. I'm talking 4, 5, 6. So there's a culture in British hospitality. I don't know if this applies elsewhere, but at the end of your shift, you get something called a staffy, which is a thank you drink for working that day. So I'd have my staffy at the end of my shift. But then by the time I finished my staffy, my friend would have finished their shift. So I'd stay and have a drink with them while they drank their staffy. But then the bar's closing in an hour. So the 3 other people I work and are also going to have their staffy. So I may as well have another drink and wait for them to have theirs.
So you're paying your staff with drinks? I feel like that is really not a great idea. But, I'm not a bar, so. Service desk for hospitals. So IT for nurses. I bet that was fun by the end of the day. I was a team lead on top of it. Oh, great. That had to be fun.
Staffy, and then we can go and have a post-work drink. It's now 2 a.m. We're in this bar and they do a hospitality offer where it's a beer and a shot for $5. Well, it makes sense to do the beer and a shot for $5. I'm a skint bartender. I'm going to do that. You see where I'm going with this. Next thing you know, it's 6 a.m. and you're in a disgusting club watching someone's nan get fingered. It's not nice. And those who are from Liverpool or have ever been on a night out in Liverpool, I'd like you to guess what club that was that I watched that happen, because I wish that was just a joke, but it's not. This is when my
What did she say? Is this... We're going to just go back where we were. There we go. We're just going to skip over that. We're not going to repeat it. Scar, if you're here, that's a you channel thing.
my depression meals started creeping in, and this is when I started eating like plain basmati rice,
Nope,
like microwavable basmati
no,
rice
Rowan,
with soy
I didn't
sauce,
hear that.
Or,
I didn't. I went,
when I
la,
did
la, la,
eventually
la,
move
la,
out
la,
my
la.
best friend's flat,
Hey, Curvy.
I moved above a shop. So I'd finish my shift, go in the shop, and because I had no energy to cook anything, or actually really the knowledge of how to cook something, or even what to cook, I would go in the shop and I'd buy like a microwavable meal, or I'd buy like an oven pizza and big grab bags of crisps as well. And I'd go back up to my flat and I'd just eat all of this in one sitting. And plus, also at home, would have an alcoholic drink as well. I, honest to God, think I drank more alcohol on a day than I did drink water. Anyway, as time went on and I started healing from my breakup and I got myself into a new flat and I was living on my own, things were coming back round. I was finding like happiness again post the breakup. I was like, right, I need to leave hospitality. I didn't spend this time in university for nothing. I need to get into the industry. And that's when I got my first industry job as a lab analyst for a big nasty company. When I started interviewing for these big girl jobs, as I like to call them at the time, I realised that a lot of my smart clothes didn't fit. And I'm not just talking won't button up, I'm talking couldn't even get...
No, I didn't. I didn't hear that. I did not. I also did not go back and see it with the CC. Or that didn't happen. Nope. Nan means grandmother, right? That's typically how that's worked? Or does that mean aunt? Grown-up job, yeah. A big girl job. I know how that feels. Like the first time I got my first intern job, where I got like my first real paycheck, that was a good job. I felt good about that one. I was like, well, I'm a real archaeologist. That was a good job. And then, it's all downhill from there. That's their granny. Great. I definitely did not see that.
Get the button to touch. And I remember being just devastated because a lot of what I wore, which is I'm sure you'll see in the pictures, is baggy hoodies, baggy clothes, baggy pants, because I was just drowning my body in these clothes to hide from what I was doing, what I'd done to myself. That was kind of a like, fuck, I'm really fat.
Ooh. Okay, look. Let's talk for a second here. You look good as a blonde. All right? Not knocking the blonde. But this strawberry ginger here, this is adorable. You really need to rethink this. This color, it's warm. It makes your skin tone pop. It looks so good on you. This color, really like this color. It's beautiful. Your hair, just saying. But still a little shocked. Just saying. But this hair color, that looks amazing.
I had to go out and I bought some really cheap interview clothes to get these interviews sorted, and I obviously got this graduate job in this big nasty company I started. And again, I discovered a lot of my clothes just didn't fit anymore because I was recycling the same clothes every day to just work in the bar. That was really embarrassing, having no clothes to wear to my now lovely brand new big girl job. That was the light switch for me. Moment was the clothes don't fit anymore, and not just like a little bit tight, but like wouldn't come together. I bought a scale and I weighed myself, and I'll never ever forget the feeling, because I'd always told myself that I was like 70 kilos, right? 75 kilos maybe. Because during COVID, my ex-boyfriend had got me into trying to run just to keep moving. I tried to lose a bit of weight during COVID because everyone, I will say this was not my one and only weight loss journey. There was a few over the years.
I'm like one of the few people I know that actually lost weight during COVID. All right, we need to know. We're gonna have to do the old kilos to... There we go. Educate me. I am an idiot. 75. So 75 kilograms is 165 and some change for those of us who don't speak the Queen's English. So there's that.
Of being slightly unhappy with the belly fat or slightly unhappy this, oh, I'll go on a diet and 1,200 calories and it not working. Oh God, why is that not working? I wonder why. But the last time I weighed myself, I was in like the early 70s, and I'll never forget standing on that scale and seeing 89.4 kilos. And for those who are not kilo...
Oh, you're going to do it for me. Hello, Mandy Pat. It's 007. I'm late here and are up to J-Bay, so I rode an ambulance and have been in emergency services for over 40 years. She is a frequent flyer. Calling outside one hospital to go to another is not unusual. I stayed the same weight during COVID because I was still working my cleaning business. See, I think the reason why I lost weight, I actually got more active during COVID, and I have been less active since. I just find that strange. All right, tell me what 89 is. But that's interesting to know, Mandy Pat.
Kilo users. That's 197 pounds.
Ooh. See, all right, from her picture, she must be taller than me then. Because the pictures that she shows of her when she is really fucking fat, she kind of has like the same body shape I do. Give me a second, guys. I got a cat here. Sorry about that.
I've had a couple sprinkled comments across my videos so far of people saying, you weren't even that fat. You weren't even that fat. If you think that was not fat, you have your perception of fatness is skewed, and you need to you're either coping with your own body, or you can't actually, your perspective is just fucked, because 200 pounds on me is looks bad.
Look, this is what I keep trying to say. I know I've been flailing like an idiot over here for the longest time. When I tell people that I am obese, and you all are very nice, and I appreciate that, and you're all like, oh, you don't look that big. And I know some of you are saying it because you don't think I look that big. I am medically obese still. Okay? Like, that's a real thing. I wear a size 10 to 12. I am still medically obese. Okay? Like, that's a real thing. And when people are like, oh no, that's not even fat. It is. It really, truly, honest to God is. I'm 5'0". Okay? Our perception as a society of what fat looks like, of what obese looks like we're watching J-Bay get rolled onto a tarp and have 6 grown men pick her up and hoist her into the back of a paddy wagon. And we're like, oh, that's obese. No, that's super morbidly obese. That's the farthest end of the obese cycle that we can get. Well, not we can get. That's really far down the spectrum. Okay? I'm like where you don't, I'm like where it starts. Okay? And I know that. I'm not trying to sit here and sugarcoat shit. Okay? I talk about the bigger girls. I get that. Okay? But like Lot's saying here, she was big. Okay? Yeah, she says she was near 200 pounds. She was 195 pounds in American. That's big, guys. You know, my highest was 189? Something like that. That's big. That's a lot of weight on a 5-foot frame. Don't get me wrong. I'm 5 feet. Your mileage will vary depending on your height. Like one of you in here is a horse and rider wellness is like 6'1". 189 on a 6'1" frame is way different than it is on a 5-foot frame, okay? But that's the problem. Yeah, I mean, if the height makes a difference, and that's the only time it matters. But like 200 pounds on me is fat. That's a lot of weight. Okay? Scooter says, I'm 5'1" and got up to 200 pounds. I looked horrible. It's not even a matter of looking, because some people, like, I wear my weight very well. Okay, don't get me wrong. I'm one of these people that is, I'm genetically blessed. I look good with weight on me. Fine, cool, that's great and all, but it's still bad for me. It's still bad for my health, okay? And I know that. So even if I look good with a little bit of padding is one thing. 200 pounds is not. All right? I just answered that question. I'm 5'0". 5 foot. Sometimes, some days, I'm 5'1". So, your highest is 360, and you're 5'3". You're stuck between 320, 330 at the moment. Yeah. So, like, 5'3" to 5'4" is, like, average for women, in my understanding, in America. That's what the internet tells me, so. That's why I always get annoyed with people saying, oh, Amber is definitely 600 pounds or 700 pounds. Like, no, she's not. But the weight she is at her height is basically equivalent to it. Yeah, basically. Yeah. I mean, Amber's another short girl. She's like, what, 5? She's like 5'1", 5'2", or something like that. She says something like that. She's in the low 5s. You're 4'11". And about 175, I'm like, okay, sure, they've seen fatter, but I'm objectively still fat. Right, exactly. And that's the thing. It was easier when my name showed up as Tammy. I don't know why YouTube's doing what it's doing with the names and shit. Ambi is 5'3", confirmed with Destiny. I would not be terribly surprised if Amber hasn't actually shrunk, just in general, because of all of her weight, to be perfectly frank. But anyway, I'm glad to hear Lot say what she just said. I mean, I'm ecstatic to hear Lot say what she just said. I don't know how tall Lot is. I don't know if she mentioned it. But, I mean, thank you. For the love of fucking God, thank you. There are two... It is a sad statement on society that people look at me... Not that I want people to look at me and be like, fatty. They used to. Don't get me wrong. I grew up fat. And I was never any bigger than I am. But it's a statement in society where people my size are normal. And no one has a problem with it. I don't want people to be running up to me and like being like, you need to lose weight. I grew up that way. I know what that's like. I do understand what it's like to have people constantly commenting on the fact that you're fat. I get it. I do. Don't get me wrong. However, I don't think it's cool that the pendulum has swung to the point where a size 18 is normal. That's the average size in America. Do you understand how much weight we have gained as a society for size 18 to be average? When I grew up, 12, really honest to fucking God, was a plus size. I know you all want to argue with me, but it was. Okay? 12 was in the plus size section. You could not find it in the junior section or the regular women's section. Okay? You couldn't. Period. Now, it's just a regular size. I can find a 16 sometimes in the normal section. It's just, I don't think people should be shamed for being a larger size, but I do think society needs to quit normalizing it. Anyway. Uncomfortable Ginger. I've always said I'm 5 foot, had to do some medical nonsense and found out you're 4'11". And 3/4, damn it. Yes, you get that 3/4. 5'10" and 285 right now, and I need to lose 100 pounds. And when I say that, people are like, you will disappear. No, I will not. I am comfortable at 180. I could probably go less, but that's my goal. Right. And then there's that too, right? 180 is probably where you're comfortablest. That's a word, and I'm sticking to it. Yeah, right. Amber's weight on her spine. I've lost an inch of height as I've gotten older. Yeah, you lose, you do actually shrink as you get older usually. I'm 5'6", top weight was 363, currently at 292. Good job. I've shrunk an inch and I used to be 5'7". I mean, you're going to lose height, period. I will eventually be 4'12"? Is that how that works? 4'11"? My highest was 325. Not only normal, but a size 18 in 2025 is bigger. Well, yeah, exactly. And than a size 18 when I was in high school. Yeah, who was it that was talking about they had a size, what was it, 6 from 20 years ago, and they had just bought a size 6 from today. They called it a modern size 6, and they laid the two of them on top of each other, and there was like a couple inches difference, even though they're both theoretically the same size. And that's just a 20-year difference in a size 6. You know, when I was in high school, almost nobody was fat. I'm not going to lie. When I was in high school, there were other people who were my size and larger, but not that many. Samira can suck it. Samira is part of the fucking problem. I will die on that 3/4 hill. I'm there with you. You're right. I work in the apparel and we go up to size 18 in regular sizes now, but previously it stopped around 12. I'm 138, which is pretty heavy for me. But life got busy. I work on getting my weight back to 125, 130 for my height. That's still heavy, but that's where I feel healthiest. I'm 5'4", I'm 130, and I get told I'm too thin. You might be, but if your doctor says you're healthy, then whatever. And more expensive brands do the vanity sizing more too. Yes. I don't know what the weight range for 5'4" is, but I know that if you're going to the doctor and they say that you're fine, you're fine. So there's that. I know you probably don't have visceral fat around your organs. Anyway. Degenerative disc disease comes for all of us in the end. That is probably true, J-Rip. That is probably true. All right, let's get back to this. I've had my moment. Reminding myself why I'm losing weight.
Objectively, like you've all seen me like stood up. Like I've got really lanky arms and legs. Like it was all yeah. It was nearly 200 pounds, and I just was like, holy shit, man! I was on fuck all money at my first job. I was on £19,000 as a graduate. Right, my rent was half of my monthly salary plus all my bills on top, so I had nothing left. Found out that through my job, they run like a partnership with one of the local health clubs of a discounted gym membership. So I got a discounted gym membership. I wanna hug that girl so bad. I remember exactly how I feel walking into that gym. It wasn't like your traditional gym. It was like more of a health club sort of vibe. I just started.
All right, I said I was going to finish this, but it's 9 o'clock and I've been live for 3 hours at this point. And I have truly enjoyed the conversation that we've had today. And I've been on live chat the whole time. And Allie didn't have to remind me once. So, all right. I'm actually going to wrap it up here. Yep, there goes my alarm. So, shush. There we go. All right. Thank you guys for joining me. I really appreciate it. If you've made it this far, go ahead and put a... I don't know, pizza? Sure. Go ahead and put a pizza down there because I kind of want pizza for dinner. We're talking about being fat. Let's put fat foods in here. So go ahead and put a pizza down for your emoji if you're still here. And thank you guys for joining me. We had some fairly deep conversations this time. We talked about Emily. We talked about ALR. Talked about J-Bay stuff. Thank you for sticking with me through the J-Bay stuff because I know that one was difficult for some people. But I do appreciate you guys sticking around for that. And I hope you guys enjoyed the song at the beginning. That was done by Aren't You Exhausted? I put a link for that earlier in the chat. And you can feed them before D&D. That is important. We must feed our little furry overlords. And yeah, Thank you guys for joining us. I guess we'll catch the rest of Lot's video some other time, and I will see everybody in the next one. Bye!